morning, educational agents, school counselors, representatives of Thai and UK universities, ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to the British Council Thailand flagship event, the Agents and Counselor Conference Thailand. Make a fresh start and gain new ideas for 2025. My name is Sirikan Benjaplanon, and I am delighted to be here for this special event organized by the British Council. สวัสดีค่ะเอเจนต์อาจารย์แนะแนวทุกท่านรวมถึงตัวแทนจากมหาวิทยาลัยทั้งในประเทศไทยและสหราชอาณาจักรหน่วยงานด้านการศึกษาแขกผู้มีเกียรติทุกท่านนะคะขอต้อนรับทุกท่านอย่างเป็นทางการเข้าสู่งานสัมมนาพิเศษจัดโดย British Council ประเทศไทยค่ะเพื่อเริ่มต้นปีใหม่พุทธศักราช 2568 ด้วยข้อมูลที่เป็นประโยชน์เสริมสร้างความคิดและแรงบันดาลใจเพื่อที่จะก้าวสู่ปี 2568 อย่างมั่นใจค่ะ The event today will be packed with the high-profile speakers and experts in education to share with you the most up-to-date information to support you to providing counseling and advice to your students and their families. The event today is supported by British Council IELTS. And now, without further ado, I am pleased to start the first plenary session, a fresh start to 2025. What awaits your students in education? The session will be divided into two parts, with the first part for us to explore the market trends and the updates on educations and universities in the UK. And I am delighted to invite our three panelists. First, I would like to invite Kun Uraiwan Samoli, Head of Education, British Council Thailand. Kun Uraiwan has worked for British Council for more than 20 years in promoting educational partnership between Thailand and the UK. She works closely with the Thailand governmental organizations and Tertiary and Research Institute. She also provides advice and support to agents, counselors, and UK institutions. Kun Uraiwan is currently responsible for the whole education portfolio in Thailand, including education partnership, scholarships, and studying in the UK, science and research, and UK alumni engagement. Please give Kun Uraiwan a round of applause. Our second panelist is Louis Tracy, International Recruitment Manager, Southeast Asia, the Universities of Edinburgh, and Chair of Regional Interest Group, Southeast Asia, British Universities International Liaison Associations, or BUILA. Louis Tracy has been working in the higher education sector for over 15 years in a variety of international admissions, recruitment, and marketing roles. She is also working across different regional markets, focusing on Southeast Asia region since 2019, and in leadership roles across the Scottish higher education sector. Her passion and expertise are in working with students to achieve their international education goals and lobbying for enhanced support for international students in Scotland and the UK. Louis is also the chair of Regional Interest Group Southeast Asia, British Universities International Liaison Associations. Please give Louis another round of applause. Last but not least, we have Kun Chanyarak Thanomnim, Account Relationship Managers. She's joined the British Council since 2013 through to this day, where she worked with Study UK team for 6 years from 2013 to 2019. She's gained many experiences in education field as well as having a good relationship with partners network. Currently, her position is Account Relationship Managers with Examination Team, which she's been working from 2020 to present. She is currently building strong relationships with the partners such as education agents, universities, internationals and Thai schools, tutorial schools, government and private sectors, and also maintain good relationship with existing partners as well as developing networks with new clients for the examination team. Please give Kun Chanyarak another round of applause. It's quite long, all of their bios. So these are our three panelists who will be our keynote who will be speakers for our session today. Please give them another round of applause. And for the first persons, I would like to invite Kun Uraiwan to give the latest update on the market trends and the support that British Council has for the agents and counselors.
Good morning, very good morning to all the educational agents, school counselor, and also our contacts in organization, all the participants to the event today. So for this event, it is the first event that British Council has organized for this year. So we hope the information will be inspire you and give a fresh idea for you throughout this year. So for my presentation, I'm going to tell a bit more about the market trends, number of students, and also some of the activities and the services that we have for agents and school counselors. So just briefly about British Council, I think you all know the British Council. Our head office in Thailand just located around this area in Siam Square. We are a UK international organization. Our work is to create the relationships between Thailand and the UK in education and culture. And I am from education team, but in fact, British Council have three pillars in their work. So the first one is English. So I think you're familiar with our English teaching center examination. So that our work in English. And we have education, that we have partnership work. We have the work with educational agents and counselor. We do the Study UK seminar, give information to students that fall into education. And we also have the arts team as well, who work with the artists in Thailand and the UK, the creative organization to promote the cultural relations between Thailand and the UK. And that's briefly about the work of the British Council. And last year, we have just celebrated 90th anniversary of the British Council globally. And in Thailand, we have been here in Thailand for more than 70 years. About the market trends, number of students who go to study in the UK, I have some of the most updated statistics to share with you this morning. We may start with the number of the student visas that been issued from Thailand. However, in year 2024, the latest information we have is as of Q3 only. So I have done the market trend for the past 5 years as of Q3. So you can see that in 2024, so the number has been slightly declined compared to the previous year. And in 2019, the Q3 year-to-date number, that is the number pre-COVID. So you can see that the number is very high. And then 2020, it has been declined significantly, that because of the COVID. And then number has recovered. However, from last 2 years, the number slightly declined for number of students. So this is the student visa, so include both the child student and adult, the general student as well. But this figure exclude the short-term students who go for the summer, so not included in this figure. This slide, so this is the enrollment, so the number of students who studying in the UK. So this is the enrollments from Thailand in UK higher education. So this will cover only undergraduate and postgraduate study. The latest information we have from HISA is from 2022-23, which is an academic year. So you can see that in 2022-23, the number of enrollments from Thailand has slightly increased, so that quite a good news. But the number is not that updated because it's from maybe 1-2 years ago. Anyway, the statistic from HISA will give us more the insight into the enrollments of the students. So from the latest information we have, so for Thai students in terms of level of study, postgraduate taught course or master degree, 1-year master degree remains the most popular level of study for students from Thailand, so 53%. But the number of students who enroll to the first degree or undergraduate, the bachelor degree, is quite big as well. I think 38%. If we look at the number, maybe 5 years ago, number of the students in undergraduate program will be smaller than this. So we can see increasing number of students on the undergraduate programs. And we have 9% of students who enroll on the postgraduate research, which is mostly the PhD programs. We think they are the Royal Thai government funded students who receive the scholarship. So most of them go to do like the postgraduate research. So this is the profile of the student from Thailand in higher education. And in terms of the subject area, if we look at students at undergraduate level for the bachelor degree, so top 5 subject area for those students are the business management, of course, always number 1, and then engineering and technology, and design, art, creative art, and performing arts. Social sciences, this covers some subject like politics, and communications will be included here as well, and computing. So computing become more and more popular as well for students for undergraduate. And if we look at the postgraduate, I think most of our agents in this room worked and give the advice for students who go to do a master degree. So for the top 5 subject area for postgraduate students are business management. Again, number 1, the same, similar to undergraduate. But for postgraduate, we have law as a number 2. Yeah, so law is very popular among students, the master degree student, and engineering technology. Number 3, social sciences and computing. For the top 5 subject area, undergraduate, postgraduate, I think quite similar between undergraduate and postgraduate. About the market trend and the statistic that we have at the moment. So apart from that, British Council has been running the UK agent and counsellor training and engagement for maybe more than 3 years to engage more with the educational agents and counsellor. So we have the UK Training and Engagement Hub. I think many of you in this room has already registered to our hub, or some of you already take the training program and been certified already. But I maybe will go through it quickly, how our hub going to provide you with the support. So in the hub, it is like the online platform. So there will be Study UK toolkits, so like the guideline, the information to help you. And if you take the online training and pass the course, you will be certified. You will get the certificate, the digital certificate. There will be events and webinar included as well. And if there are any updates in UK education, you will get the announcements through this hub. There will be some research and insight as well that will be shared with the agent and counselor on the hub. And this platform is for, of course, education counselor, agents, but it also for anyone else that has a role in international student as well. So Thai University can register as well if you have the roles to deal with the student and study in the UK, and British Council staff as well. Yeah, so it's quite open to anyone who interested in study in the UK or work in this area. And I have a very short video to show you how the hub look like.
What is the hub? The Agent and Counsellor Training and Engagement Hub has everything you need to stay up to date with the latest information on UK education. The Hub is a new online platform which allows you to access the training and resources you need all in one place. It's the first time the British Council has designed a space entirely dedicated to agents and counsellors. We hope this leads to a new level of engagement as we will be posting announcements and holding events on a regular basis, specific to you in the regions in which you work.
How the hub look like, so you can access the hub from your computer, laptop, or even the mobile phone. Okay, and this is the link how to register to the hub. We also have the training, but I think Louis is going to give more details on the training. But just to emphasize that the entire training program is free of charge, so there is no charge for the hub or the training, and the course is 100% online. After you completed the training, so you will be certified agents or counselor, and now we have the digital badge for you that you can use in your social media to show that you are certified agents or counselors. So the benefits of being certified, so it's like the international recognition for having achieved a high standard of knowledge and awareness of the UK education, and you will be on our database of UK agents and counselors as well, and student parents will be able to access to those databases. That's all about the hubs, and I would like to just give you information about some of the scholarships that British Council is managing and offering to students from Thailand. So the first one, we offer the GREAT scholarships. So GREAT scholarship is jointly funded by the UK government, Great Britain campaign, British Council, and UK universities. And the GREAT scholarship are for students to study for master degrees in the UK. So now the GREAT scholarship for Thai students is being open for application, and each scholarship will be a minimum of £10,000 towards the tuition fee. So it's like quite a big discount as well for the tuition fee for the student who get the scholarship. So it's being open for application now. Another scholarships that we are going to open for application very, very soon is a Women in STEM scholarships. So this scholarship is from British Council as well. And we work in partnership with UK universities. It is for female women to go to study STEM-related subject in the UK for a master degree. And scholarship for women in STEM, it will be the fully funded scholarship, so cover tuition fee, living course, English language course, IELTS exam fee as well, return travel, so it's fully funded. So this scholarship is going to be open soon for application. Apart from that, throughout the year, British Council will be organizing the activities that will help support your students about study in the UK. So around May or June every year, we will be organizing the pre-departure briefing or the orientation for the offer holders, for the student who already got the offer and going to travel to study in the UK. So we will do the pre-departure briefing. We will have UK Alumni. We will have UKVI to come to give them the information so that they can plan for study in the UK with confidence. So this is the photo from the previous year pre-departure briefing. And when they study in the UK and then come back to Thailand, British Council also maintain a network of UK alumni. So we have a lot of activities like the networking, seminars, workshop for the UK alumni so that they can come to network with their friends and expand their professional network as well. So for your students, they are very, very welcome to join our UK alumni network. And we provide the Study UK website to give the basic information, some of the advice for students who interested in study in the UK. After this event, if you like to continue with the information on networking with other agents, so we are now organizing the regional event, the East Asia Agents Conference in March this year in Hong Kong. And we have invited agents from across the region so that cover Northeast Asia, Japan, Hong Kong in the north, and also all the country in Southeast Asia. So it's quite a big event, and you can meet and network with UK University as well, and agents from other country across the region. So you are welcome to register. It is free of charge as well, except your flight and accommodation, but there is no entry fee to this event. And I think that's all for the introduction for my presentation, and then I will hand it over to the next panelist. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Khun Uraiwan, for the very useful information. And we would like to move to the next speakers. Now, I would like to invite Louise Tracy to give the updates on educations and universities in the UK. Right? We're ready for you.
Sawadika and hello. You'll be very happy to hear that's all the Thai I know, so I will not be trying to do this bilingual and will be solely speaking in English. Thank you so much, firstly, for the warm welcome, but also to the British Council for inviting me here today on behalf of BUILA to tell you a little bit more about updates in the UK education sector right now. So in my short session today, I want to start by giving you an introduction to BUILA for those of you who haven't come across the organisation before, some information about some of the current trends and both challenges and opportunities for studying in the UK, and then lastly by giving you some updates on the Agent Quality Framework, which has been a huge project for both the British Council and BUILA over the last 18 to 24 months. So to introduce the British Universities International Liaison Association, BUILA, it's a membership-led organisation which is there to support the work and professional interests of UK universities and their staff who work in the international student recruitment space. So they're very much there to provide that strong and unified approach to international student recruitment across all UK universities and really help shape that best practice in engaging with all of the stakeholders that we have to work with. They are also very influential in engaging with UK governmental organisations to help us lobby when the government proposes new changes to things like the visa rules, which we've seen a lot of in the last couple of years. So BUILA work on behalf of UK universities to share our insights, opinions and thoughts on any of these changes and how they might affect UK universities and international students. They do also have a lot of work in terms of creating interest groups. So it was mentioned earlier, I'm currently chair of a regional interest group for Southeast Asia. So what I do is I work with all of the UK universities who travel out to this region very regularly to collaborate together to work on gaining and improving our market intelligence and also the opportunities to work closely with our stakeholders within the sector. So in terms of the updates in the sector, the UK has been seeing quite a challenging past year. Of course, we welcomed a new government in the last 6 months, which also always brings some changes. We have seen policy changes in terms of visas. So we know that last year, unfortunately, there was the removal of the dependent visa, which has really affected many international student recruitment markets, particularly in West Africa and India. So universities in the UK have seen quite a challenge in terms of their student populations, especially from that side of the world. We also had the Migration Advisory Committee, the MAC review, which was looking at how UK universities work in various aspects of international student recruitment, and one of those was reviewing the graduate route visa. So again, for international student recruitment markets, where that is such a huge selling point for coming to study in the UK, that added quite a lot of confusion, distrust and worry about whether or not to invest in the UK. And then lastly, global competition. So we're seeing a rise in activity and interest from both the USA, Canada, Australia and other university sectors in Europe, which of course can affect the number of students who are choosing to come to the UK. But one thing I do want to note is that with the new government, we do still have keen and strong support. So I just want to read you a statement recently from the UK's Secretary of State for Education, who said, "Be in no doubt, international students are welcome in the UK. This new government values their contribution to our universities, to our communities and to our country." She also added, "Under this new government, opportunity is for everyone, and our international partnerships are central to this drive to spread opportunity far and wide. The more we work together, the more we progress, we will see in the world partners in the push for better." So actually, starting 2025 off in this way and getting the opportunity to work with our agent and school counsellor network is such a great opportunity to really enhance and support that message from the Secretary of State as well. So in terms of the key messaging that we really want you to consider when you're speaking with prospective students and their families for coming to the UK are really these key 6 points here. So again, the UK offers such amazing opportunity to be part of a really international and multicultural environment, and we're open and welcoming for international students, so please do continue to encourage. The future employment opportunities are also great. So although there was a review of the graduate route visa, there hasn't been any decision to change that. And the MAC review actually provided a little bit of additional information about the type of sectors and work that our international students are going on to within the UK. We do also have the skilled worker visa as an opportunity. So really do still encourage your students to look at the opportunities after studies to remain in the UK as well. Now, of course, I'm not telling you anything new here when I support that the UK offers outstanding higher education opportunities. We have thousands of degree programmes at hundreds of different universities and something for everyone. We have an excellent offering at both bachelor level with 3 to 4 year bachelor degree programmes, and the 1 year master's route is so popular and such a great opportunity for students who want to come to an excellent education system but get that master's degree in that really quick and intensive way. There are many funding opportunities, so thanks to Raiwan for introducing some of the British Council options in terms of the Great Scholarship and the Women in STEM Scholarship. But of course, we know of other UK government opportunities like Shevening, and universities in the UK are continuously striving to create their own scholarship programmes as well. Unfortunately, we're not in a similar position to the USA where full ride scholarships are a norm, but we are definitely trying to increase the opportunities for partial scholarships so that our students from across the globe can get some good access to that high quality education. And then lastly, student wellbeing and support. The UK is very safe, all of our cities, all of our universities, so do promote that as a really welcoming opportunity for students when they do come to study. So I want to move on just to use the final part of my slot here in the plenary session to talk to you and give you some updates about the Agent Quality Framework. Now, I hope the Agent Quality Framework isn't new for many of our agent colleagues here today, but for the school counsellors here today, this might be new information. So hopefully this will give you an insight into how the UK is working to enhance how we work with our agent colleagues and stakeholders. The Agent Quality Framework has been in existence, I would say, for around about 18 months now. So it's very much organised and created to allow agents and universities to work closer together to have greater transparency, especially for the students who are looking to engage with that offering. There's a lot of guidance and support for both universities and agents and how we can embed the Agent Quality Framework within our practices as well. And the recent MAC review actually highlighted the AQF as a key way to move forward in terms of our international student recruitment goals. So it's something that potentially might be mandated going forward that UK universities have to sign up to. So there are various strands or pillars to the Agent Quality Framework that are named here. So we have the National Code of Ethical Practice, which our agent colleagues will notice that many of the UK universities ask for you to adhere to or comply with. We also have the Good Practice Guide for providers and the Good Practice Guides for agents. So again, helping us understand what the expectation should be from both sides of our desk and how we should be working together and what we can expect. The student guide to choosing an agent is really important and something I'm going to cover a little bit further in the coming slides, and really useful for our school counsellors here today to advertise and promote to your students who might also be working with an agent while filling out an application to the university. Iraiwan already introduced you to the Agent Counsellor and Training Engagement Hub, and I'll cover a few updates on that too. And then we have a public-facing database of certified counsellors. So for those counsellors who've already taken the training, you are on the website so that people can find your details there. So what is the new government saying about the Agent Quality Framework? They were very pleased, very happy to see that the universities and the agents were so far along in the guidance and support that we have for sharing that best practice. There are a few updates in terms of what they want to see out of the AQF. One of these is the list of education agents contracted with the higher education sector, and for all providers to publish their list of agents on our websites. I would say for a number of years, even before the AQF, many UK universities were already doing that. So it's just making sure that those universities who have pledged to the AQF are continuing to do so. But a new suggestion from the government would be for all UK universities to start listing the agent on the UCAS when a student applies for a visa. So again, adding that level of transparency when they're processing those visa applications. They're also seeking to add a few new mechanisms to ensure that both agent and education providers are complying with the AQF. So one of those is to ensure that the university has signed the AQF and are applying it to their practices. And one of the things that BUILA are working towards is a checklist for universities to go through and ensure that they're meeting those requirements as well. And regular reporting so that universities can go back and show that agent counsellors are partnerships that we have are valued and valid and are trusted. So in terms of the pledge, in December last year, BUILA started to ask UK universities to pledge towards the AQF now that it's been finalised. We're happy to say we have 146 UK education providers who have already signed to the pledge. We have around about 160 universities in the UK, so there are a few more to get, but hopefully that they will come on board very soon to ensure that we're all working towards the same quality framework. So just to introduce the student guide to choosing an education agent, BUILA and the British Council host all of this information on our website so that it's very easy for both universities, for agents and for students to get access to understand what they might need to be looking for in terms of working with an external organisation. in their application to a university. So what the student guide does is it encourages students who are thinking of studying in the UK to check a few things before they start engaging. So one of those things is to check the database of certified trained counsellors and check that their counsellor that they are working with is listed on that website and that they're committed to that guide of ethical practice. So again, just an encouragement to take the time to do the training, because it's something that I expect a lot more students might start looking at as universities start to promote that guide further and wider. It gives a lot of detailed information, even for our agents who have been working in the UK education sector for a number of years. A refresh is always a good thing to have. It also asks for some transparency in terms of fees. I don't think this happens so much in the Southeast Asian sector, but just if there are any fees that are charged by the agent, or again, the rates of commission that universities then pay back to agents as well, just full transparency about how our partnerships work together and what we do, so that a student can understand how our partnerships work. The guide is very much clarifying that a student should be expected to be guided and not pushed. So again, all UK universities and the way that we work with our agents is really to make sure we're placing the right students in the right institutions. So helping students understand that that's what they should expect when they work with our agent partners as well. And then lastly, just mechanisms and ways for students to put any sort of complaint forward if they're not happy with any sort of service they have. UK universities tend to have that opportunity for any sort of complaints about any of our services and practices on our university websites. So again, just flipping that back to our agent partners to make sure that there is a way for the student to raise any concerns or flag any issues. So moving on to the UK agent and counsellor training, we've had a short video of what the hub looks like, but just a quick run through of some of the modules that you can expect on that training course. So why choose the UK and the UK education systems? So for those of you who are working across multiple destinations, this might be a good way to start to understand how you might differentiate the UK to some of those other education systems from around the world. Really importantly, preparing students for a UK education system, what they can expect in terms of the experience, accommodation, living and moving to the UK. Of course, visas and immigration, the type of information that you might need to know. And then for post-studies, that career service and opportunities for students to stay in the UK. So again, whether you're an agent counsellor or a high school counsellor, all of these modules should be really valuable and useful, either as a refresher or an introduction to the UK education system. So I mentioned before the database. So again, really encouraging you to take the time to sign up to the training so that you can become a certified member on the database, because people can look up to see whether or not you are certified. A few stats here just about how many people are active on the hub. So 33,500 users were already engaged in 2025, and we have around 15,500 of those who are certified. So again, you'll see some people do take the time to register and can take the time as well to complete the training and go ahead and become certified. So do feel free to take your time, but do engage with that as much as you can. So in terms of communicating and demonstrating your commitment to the AQF, these are some of the steps that we'd really like you to consider taking. So again, in terms of the national code, really making sure that your contract with the UK education provider covers that ethical framework, so that we can ensure that we're all working towards the same thing. Ensuring that all of your counsellors do have the British Council training. Even your counsellors who may focus more on other destinations might still want to take this training, just so that they can understand the differences between the different education systems. So do encourage even those who don't focus solely on the UK to consider that as well. And then I would say just to really engage with the resources that the BUILA have taken the time to create. I'm sure we'll be sharing these slides with you all afterwards as well, so you can easily access those. But do please read them and share them with your students, especially the student guide to choosing an education agent. So lastly, just a little last bit of information about BUILA and how we might work a little bit closer together. So, of course, the AQF is one of our biggest projects that we've been running, but the organisation does a lot more, especially to help engage all of the UK universities in sharing that best practice in market intelligence. So we have 12 interest groups at BUILA right now. I mentioned I'm chair of the Southeast Asia Regional Interest Group, but there are other interest groups that focus on things like the Agent Quality Framework. We have regular meetings throughout the year, so we're always welcoming of speakers to come along to our meetings to tell us a little bit more about what they're seeing in their organisations or in the sectors that they're working in. So if you're ever interested in doing that for your own professional development, or even just to help the UK universities in understanding a certain nuance or bit of information that maybe is often misunderstood, please do engage with us to do that. We do also run regular training sessions, both in person in the UK but online. So one of those is working with international schools and how to enhance that relationship. So again, we would welcome our high school counsellors in engaging with us for content for these types of training programmes. And of course, lastly, the main way that you can engage with BUILA is to really embrace the Agent Quality Framework and help us work together to create an amazing sector for students and ourselves and the other organisations who are involved. So thank you very much for taking the time to listen. I will hand you back over now to the next speaker.
Thank you, Louise, for the very useful information. And last but not least, I would like to invite Kun Chanyarak to give the information and updates on English assessment and how it can help students study in the UK with confidence, as well as the support that British Council have for the agents and counsellors.
Good morning, everyone, and Happy New Year. And so I'm here to update you on the exam products and how we can support our partner. So this is our product. IELTS is our main product, and the school exam, IGCSE and ASA level UK University admission exam and the APTIS. So let's start with the school exam. So there are two opportunities to sit the school examination every year in Thailand. So CAIE take place in two series. The first one is May-June. Is now application is open for the application. So we have normal entry, and if student miss the first normal entry, so they can still apply for the late entry, which is start from 15 February to April. And for the October, November session will be announced later this year. For the APTIS, is, I believe that is very new to you all. It's actually the English test from the British Council. It has been developed by British Council assessment expert and provide reliable resource for all 4 skills mapping to CEFR. And it has been recognized by government and educational institutions in more than 85 countries. So the APTIS test component is including 4 skill tests, and grammar and vocabulary is compulsory. So this is there are many types of APTIS, so including APTIS for general, for teacher, for teen, and APTIS for advanced. So for the candidate, they can obtain the CEFR level from A1 to C2, and all APTIS variants have the same testing methodology and the format. Here is the sample of the candidate report. So on the left-hand side, you will see the skill, the score and overall score, and on the right-hand side is also show CEFR level as well. And they also have the QR codes and link to verify the result in the real time. This test is applied to IELTS on computer only. So we currently have the venue test. If student or candidate would like to take the test or group of some customer, we have only one test venue in British Council, Siam Square. And we currently have both private sector and government sector that be our partner. This is a sample of our private partners such as Thai Vietjet Air, PwC Thailand, and Thai Central Chemical Public, and we have many more. And for the government sector, we have Potisan Pitayakon School, OVEC, the Office of the Vocational Education Commission, Ministry of Thailand, and this is the newest one, Thammasat Secondary School or Sathit Thammasat. We are going to deliver the test for them this year. Since last year, we have been received many inquiry about the aptitude, especially for Thai school. And we expecting that this year, so we will have more partners from school as well. IELTS is, as you know, that it has been recognized and accepted by over 12,500 organizations. It's more than 140 countries, including UK, Australia, Canada, and many more. For the organization has been accepted, is including school, college, and some government sector and private sector as well. Type of aptitude, so there are key main types. So we have aptitude for academic. IELTS for academic, IELTS for general training, and IELTS for UKVI. What the difference between these three is, IELTS for academic is mainly for the candidate who would like to use the test to apply for the university from bachelor degree or higher, or the candidate who want to join the training, professional training in English-speaking country. And for IELTS, general training is mainly for the one who would like to migrate to another country or join the training in English-speaking country and study in the below degree. For IELTS for UKVI is mainly for students who would like to study in the UK in bachelor degree or higher, or work or training in the UK. So by taking IELTS with us. Okay, so for the IELTS on computer, you can get the result, the fastest result, 2 to 5 days. And we also have offer the IELTS preparation course. It's free IELTS preparation course from British Council. You can take preparation course before and after you apply for the test. And we also offer both speaking tests in face-to-face speaking and VCS or video call speaking. And we have a convenient location across the country. Here we offer IELTS on computer and on paper still. So we have across the country. So we have Bangkok and North, South, Northeast as well. Okay, you may receive the question from your client. So what the difference between IELTS on computer and IELTS on the paper? Here is some difference. So for IELTS on the paper, you can get the result in 13 days after the test. And so we have 4 test sessions a month. For IELTS on computer, you can get the fastest result in 2 days. And we have test session every day. And you also can take the one skill retake. Both are the same price. And we offer both speaking tests in face-to-face and video call speaking as well. It actually, if student and your customer ask you, so what which one is better like that? We always get the inquiry about this. So it really depends on a candidate. Because some candidates, especially young generation, is tend to love or prefer the IELTS on computer because they're typing very fast or writing, especially in writing. So most of students, they cannot write properly, actually. Okay, I have mentioned about one skill retake. What is one skill retake? So it's basically designed for the candidate who would like to retake the exam, but they would like to focus in one skill. So now it's available on the IELTS on computer for IELTS for academic, IELTS for general training, and IELTS for UKVI. So how they can join the one skill retake it? They have to take the full test first, and if they see the result that they would like to improve one skill like writing test, so they can request it within 60 days for the one skill retake, and they take only one part. It's good about this is candidate only focus in one part. It's likely possible that they can improve their score in that part. So I have mentioned about the IELTS preparation course. This one is free, so even yourself can access to this as well. We have IELTS ready member, so everyone can join without apply for the test. So it includes free access, 6 mock tests. We have practice access, exercise, trip and video, and free record IELTS preparation webinars. And after that, once you apply for the test, you can upgrade your performance with IELTS Ready Premium, which is you can gain 40 practice tests and you get feedback from IELTS expert. And also you can improve all your 4 skills. And you can keep this IELTS Ready Premium until 7 days after the test in the test taker portal. And here is free as well. You can, if you have time, so please feel free to access to this. So we have IELTS preparation course. So it's British Council resources. So I'm sure that nobody knows, but if you access to this site, it will be very useful, and you can forward this website to your student as well, and you can try and join our IELTS webinar as well. It's all free. So how we can support you? Being our partner opportunity. This is for IELTS only. I'm sure that some of you may being our partner already, and so I will put into different parts. The left-hand side is basically for the educational agent. It's if you refer or apply the test, refer candidate to apply the test with British Council. So how it works is we just have the agreement, and we will issue you IELTS partner certificate, and your company will be listing on our British Council website. And every quarter we will, if you refer candidate to us, so we will process incentive back to you. And there are many more about local banding, so you can use our local banding as well. And on the right hand side is more about for school, university. So we call B2B partner for the closed session. We deliver exam test for school for the closed session for the student. So this one, everything is the same, but apart from we normally offer IELTS workshop and mock test for students around 2 weeks before the actual test. This is for our B2B partner. However, agent, if you work with school or university and you have connection with them, you can refer the school to us, and we will work through to you as well. So you can be on the right hand side as well. Please, if you have any opportunity, please come to us and we can help you to design and support. Okay, all our partners will receive British Council IELTS newsletter every month. So the newsletter including IELTS preparation course, IELTS webinar, and some news and promotion. This is very useful. For example, we usually have a special promotion for if candidate register via partner, so they can get free tamper. So we give the tamper away. We will send to you, and you can give it to your candidate, the one who you apply for. Okay, this is another way that you can be our partner. We call affiliate program. This is how it works is you sign up to be our partner, and we will have a special link to you, and you can post this link on your social media on all the channel in your network. And some of your customer, if they click on that link, so the system will track an engagement that she finally applied the IELTS with us. So then after we track, and we will process the incentive back to you. So this one is different from the first one. This one you don't need to register for your client. You just forward the special link on your channel, and then we can tag system, we tag, and we get back to you for the incentive. Here is for more information. So please join our IELTS Facebook and news and promotion and some preparation course. Yes. That's all for me. Thank you so much. And we have, if you have any question, and just feel free to visit our information booth, so to gain more some useful brochure, and we will be here all day. So just visit us at the booth. Thank you so much.
All right, so thank you, Khun Chanyarak, for the updates on the English assessment. And it is absolutely important that the students planning to study overseas in the UK, and they will get some of the great opportunities that agents will be able to actually work with the British Council on the examination team too. So for now, I think we're really like short into our sessions. So we're going to have the breaks for 15 minutes, but then therefore, if you have any of the questions, you can actually just talking to our 3 keynote speakers, because they will be with us the whole days of the events today. And also what Khun Chanyarak has just mentioned, we have the booth of the British Council IELTS at the front. So for now, I would like to thank our 3 speakers for sharing their useful information and making the fresh starts for the conference today. Please give them another round of applause. All right, and welcome back to the Agents and Counsellor Conference, Thailand. And this is the second part of the plenary sessions, in which we will have an opportunity to hear more about the UK student visa. May I now invite Khun Lisapat Kraikruan, Visa Outreach Officer, UK Visa and Immigrations, or UKVI, come on the stage to give the latest update on the student visa. Please give Khun Lisapat a round of applause.
Hi. My name is Lisapat Kraikruan. Call me Pat. I am a Visa Outreach Officer from UK Visas and Immigration. First of all, I'd like to thank the British Council for organizing such a wonderful event. And thank you for every one of you for making the time today to be here. And it certainly is nice to see a lot of familiar faces again. So to make a start, what we do at UKVI is that we provide an effective regular immigration system for the UK. What we do is that we place a customer need at the center of what we do, and being adaptive, responsible, and respectful at all times. We are responsible for issuing millions of visa decisions per year to enable customers to visit, work, study, or to live with a family in the UK. We have over 250 visa application centers across the globe, and out of those, 190 of those, we offer priority service. And to give you some perspective of the numbers for UK Visa, so the global visa grant for the year ending September 2024, which is from October 2023 to 2024 each year, you can see that the numbers has dipped slightly from the year before, but it's still higher than pre-COVID number level. And to give a perspective of Thailand is that these are the issue rate. On the visitor route, we have issued 92%, study route 98%, work route 90%, family 93%, and other route at 92%. Altogether, we have granted about 60,000 visas to Thai national across the globe, and the average issue rate across all routes is 92%. The common type or different types of visa that enables you to study in the UK include the standard visitor route, short-term study, student and child student route. The initial way to determine which visa you should apply or as likely suits your circumstance is based on how long you're planning to stay in the UK. So if you're planning to study for 6 months or less, we have the standard visitor route. If it's 6 months to 11 months, no longer than 11 months, we have the short-term study route. And for longer than that, you're going to a higher education institution. We have the student and child student route for our studying independent school. The time frame is not definitive of the visa route. It also depends on the details. So I'll go over the details with you in the latter slide. A good source is check if you need a UK visa. If you go there, it will have prompts or a question that if you answer, it will kind of tell you which might be the suitable visa route for you. So more on the standard visitor route visa to study in the UK. So you can visit the UK for up to 6 months to study at an accredited institution, take English language courses, do a short piece of research, do an elective, sit an entrance exam, do an unpaid clinical attachment, or take the OSCE test or the Professional Linguistic Assessment Board test. So under this route, what is important to note is that you're not eligible to work. So if your short course involves work placement or kind of internship, whether it's paid or unpaid, you cannot do it through the visitor route. I have put down sources for guidance. I believe these slides can be shared with you after the session. So these are sources which may benefit you. So it gives the first one gives you an overview of the standard visitor route. Second one is the immigration rules. So if you don't find your answer there in the overview, you might want to look in the immigration rule. If you want a clarification on what those immigration rules mean, and how the decision maker is going to view or interpret that immigration rule, there is the caseworker guidance for the visit route. So that's a good source to go to as well. For a document that you need under this route, we have the visit guide to supporting document. So it's the link down there. So that would give you an impression of what document we look for or place importance on. Short-term study route, this is for you to study from 6 to 11 months. Under this route, you can study an English language course that is in that duration. What you cannot do is you can not study on any other courses or change your courses while you're in the UK. You cannot study in a state-funded school or work. So you can't work under this route either, whether it's paid or unpaid. You cannot extend your visa. You cannot bring your family members. And you cannot apply to public funds or state pension. Again, I have also put down the source of the guidance there. So there you have the overview, the immigration rules, as well as the caseworker guidance. Now, moving on to the student visa, the main route to study in the UK. So who needs a student visa? So if you're a British citizen, you don't need a student visa. If you are from the rest of the world, whether you're an EU citizen or other citizen, if you're looking to study in the UK in a higher education institution, most likely you will need a student visa. To be eligible to a student visa, you have to be at the age of 16 or over. You have received an offer, an unconditional offer from an approved education institution, that is the UCAS. You can speak, read, write, and understand English. You have enough money to support yourself and as well as pay for the course. And if you're under 18, you will be required to provide a consent from your parents. If you are between the age of 4 and 17 years old and you're looking to study at an independent school in the UK, there is the child student visa there. The document that is required under the student route, you definitely need your passport or your travel document. You will also need your CAS. So the confirmation of acceptance studies that the university will provide you with. Please wait until that before making your application. What you may also need to provide is proof of finance. I'll elaborate that more in my later slide. Proof of your knowledge of English, Birth certificate of parental consent. So if you're under 18, you'll need to provide that. TB certificate or tuberculosis test result. This is based on where you live. It's not nationality based. Oh, sorry. So if you live in a country like Thailand, you will need to provide a TB certificate. So please check the website if you are living in countries that needs to provide or not. ATAS certificate, so this is required for certain courses. In your CAS, it will determine whether you need an ATAS certificate. So knowledge of English. We give the university a right to determine whether you need to take any further tests. So they are going to evaluate your application to the university. And if they feel that, see that you don't need to take any assessment, they are going to determine that in your CAS, that you don't need to take additional tests for your UK visa. In the case that you do, and it says in your CAS that you need to take more tests to prove your English level, we have the CELT test. So that's IELTS in the presentation prior to this. How you can also prove is having a GCSE, A-level, Scottish National Qualification, level 4 or 5, Scottish Higher or Advanced Higher in English, gained through study at a UK school beginning when you're under 18. So that is how you can prove your knowledge of English. Funds. So what's important to note, we have recently uplift, making it higher, the maintenance fund. So what we look for in terms of funds is that you have enough money to pay for your course and as well as support yourself while you're in the UK. So for the maintenance fund, it has recently been higher. So for in London, it's now £1,483 per month. And you should have a maximum, demonstrate a maximum of 9 months. The rest of the UK is 1,136, and for the 9 month as well. You can prove you have enough money by having cash in your savings account, student loan, or official financial or government sponsorship grants. These funds must be held in your account for 28 consecutive days to prove that you have sufficient fund to meet this requirement. You may not need to prove that you have enough fund if you have lived in the UK or in the UK for 12 months prior to the date of your student application. So this is for in-country application. You are applying as a student union sabbatical officer, or you are applying as a postgraduate doctor, dentist, or a recognized foundation program. So in those cases, you do not have to prove your funds. Another important things to note, which I would like to stress on, is the differential arrangement. So countries that are in the differential arrangement, you do not need to submit proof of fund when you submit your application, okay? So, but it does not mean that you are away from the funds requirement. So when you submit your application, you don't need to submit proof of fund, but the decision maker can ask for those proof if they determine that there is a need to do so. Okay. Another important things to note, and a lot of problems that we have experienced, is that some people chose to submit a certain proof of fund, but does not really meet the requirement, which means that sometimes they submit, but it does not meet the maintenance requirement or does not cover the maintenance requirement and the course fee. So if you do choose to submit, you will be evaluated. Okay. So if you are evaluated and you do not meet the requirement, so if you are evaluated and you do not meet the requirement, it may result in further delays, or they might make a decision based on that. Okay, so what's important, if you don't submit, then don't submit. Okay, but if you do submit, do make sure that it meets the requirement. And also be conscious that if you submit a scholarship letter, that will be considered as proof of fund as well. So make sure that the scholarship plus your bank account, if your scholarship does not cover everything, then make sure that there are other evidence that would cover that. The application process is pretty straightforward. So you start with your online application, pay the immigration health surcharge, and book an appointment with the Visa Application Center. VFS will present later on. They'll elaborate a little more on the services that they provide. Then the next step is you can choose what kind of service you want at VFS, or choose online, whether you want to opt for a standard service, priority service, super priority, and other services at VFS that they provide. Once you do that, you attend your appointment to provide your biometrics, which is your fingerprints and photograph. After you have done that, the clock starts, and The digital information that you provided at VFS will be sent to the decision-making center in the UK to make a decision on your visa. If successful, you'll be provided with a vignette on your passport and also a decision letter in the case of a student visa. And if it's a refusal, then you will not get a vignette, but you'll get a decision letter that is going to tell you why your visa is being refused. Don't panic. A refusal does not mean that you'll always will always be refused. You can submit a new application, and every application is decided by its own merit. So a refusal from a previous application does not mean an automatic refusal in a new one. Then the passport is going to be returned to you. I'll elaborate more on the steps after the passport is returned to you in the e-visa section, which I'll cover. The processing time is 3 weeks for the student visa, so 15 working days. You can also opt for priority service and super priority in Thailand. Priority service is 5 working days or about 1 week. And super priority is the end of next working day. Just a side note is that if you decide to go with super priority, please go make sure that you have completed your biometrics before 11 a.m. on that day. Otherwise, it'll be counted as the next day. Okay. So go make an early appointment at VFS. So I'm conscious that priority service and super priority service does involve you to pay additional fee. So if you have received your CAS and you're able to make the application early, we encourage you to do so. But in the case that you're unable to do so, we do offer these services so that you can make it in time for your intended travel date. Another important thing is that applications may take longer to process in the case that you provide inaccurate information in your application, or you haven't provided completed document and there's the decision maker reach out to you for additional documents. So that may delay your application further from the standard process. But normally you will be informed at the 15 working days if they can make it or not. If it is within the service standard, meaning that if it's still within the 15 working days, please don't contact UKVI because the most likely answer you're getting is that it's still in process. But if it has exceeded that, please do to follow up on your application. And that's the link the processing time. Application tips. So once you have your CAS or your CAS has been issued, do apply as early as possible. Don't wait until the busy period. And check, once you have received it, check that the CAS has the correct information on you and the correct visa. Thirdly, include all necessary supporting document. Make sure that you make a complete submission because if you make an incomplete submission, it would likely further delay your application. Include official translation of your document. So any document that is submitted in foreign language that is not English or Welsh, it will not be evaluated. So make sure if your document is in Thai, do have an official translation for that. Include any supporting letter to explain any gaps in your study, for example, a period of employment. Disclose your full travel history. I know it's 10 years, there's a lot. Try to disclose as accurately as you can. Disclose any form of criminality. So if you have any criminality, even minor offense, please do declare them. And if there's a need to explain them, you can do so as well. Include your birth certificate and parental consent if you are under the age of 18. And if you are using the UK Immigration ID Check app after you've paid for your application, make sure you confirm you have submitted your document. Your application won't be processed if you miss this step. Traveling to the UK, so if your course lasts less than 6 months, normally you can travel a week before. And if it's more than 6 months, normally you'll be eligible to travel 1 month before your course. Please do not travel if your visa is not valid yet. These are some useful links and QR codes to the different guidance and websites. Transitioning to an e-visa, okay? So we have now begun our transition to the e-visa. So since the end of 2024, we have phased out BRP, so we no longer issue new BRP. You can now create a UKVI account to access your e-visa. And updating a physical document to an e-visa does not affect your immigration status or conditions of permission to enter or stay in the UK. So meaning this transition will not affect your validity or your immigration status. So what an e-visa is an online immigration status, and it's replacing physical document and with an online record of your immigration status. The benefit of an e-visa is that it cannot be lost, stolen, or tampered with or destroyed, unlike physical document. You will not need to wait to collect your passport or your physical document. And so it'll be quicker after the decision is made. So far with the e-visa, what we have replaced is that we have replaced BRP. So for the student route, when formally you have to collect your BRP, once the decision is made on your visa, you receive a vignette, you have 90 days to travel to the UK and you have to collect your BRP. So instead of having to do that, you can now go to the UKVI app and then get an e-visa. So follow the step in the decision letter of how to obtain e-visa. So also replace passport endorsement for indefinite leave to remain. So these are legacy things such as a wet ink stamp or a stamp for indefinite leave to remain on your passport. So people can transition to an e-visa if you have those. And it replaced the sticker vignettes or visa sticker on your passport. So you no longer need that for certain routes. And to access your e-visa is that you have to create a UKVI account. Updating your physical document to an e-visa does not affect your immigration status, as I've stated. You do not need to pay to create a UKVI account, so the transition is completely free. Once you have created a UKVI account, you will be able to view the details of your e-visa online. So for example, your type of permission, when it expires, and your condition to stay in the UK. Another important thing to note is that if your BRP have expired on the 31st of December, and you have not yet transitioned to an e-visa, but you do have permission to stay in the UK longer, you should continue to carry your BRP, and you can use that to travel to the UK. So this is a grace period provision for those who have not yet transitioned to an e-visa when they should. If you have difficulties and things like that, the UK government has provided this grace period until the 31st of March this year. You can use an e-visa to travel to the UK together with your current passport, which must be linked to your UKVI account. So in your UKVI account, please make sure that you update the latest information if you have a change of passport or other details. So you can use that to travel to the UK by getting a share code, and if your carrier asks for it, you can provide the share code to the carrier. So if you have a biometric residence permit, please do transition to an e-visa. Please don't wait until the end of the grace period. If you need to make a new application, you'll get a decision letter. It's going to tell you what you need to do in the new process. If you have another document, such as wet ink stamp, there are processes how you can transition to a no time limit application or other kinds of application, and more information can be found on that link. So customers who already have an e-visa, keep your personal and contact details updated. And if you get a new passport, do update them on your UKVI account as well. As I said, the journey has changed. So instead of collecting your BRP, you can now create a UKVI account after you have received your decision for your visa. ETA. So this is less relevant for Thai nationals, but I'm conscious that we may have other country nationals in the audience as well. So from January 8th, other than countries in Europe, for non-visa national or people who regularly does not need to apply for a visit visa to visit the UK, you are now eligible to apply for an ETA, okay? So for an ETA, if you have a visa, you don't need to apply for an ETA. These are only for people who currently don't need a visa. They now need an ETA to go to the UK. So to get an ETA, there's a UK ETA app. So please do apply for ETA channel, and it costs £10. And the processing time is 3 working days. So please do leave certain times for the decision on the ETA to be made. So yes, so I already covered that. So that's how you can apply for an ETA. Pay for the fee, provide contact and passport details, provide valid photo, and answer a set of questions. So a lot of self-declaration. If you are Thai and you are conscious of what it looks like, you can download the app. But once you scan your passport, it's going to tell you that you're not eligible for an ETA. Further information on e-visa, ETA, those are the links. And if you do have a problem or trouble transitioning to an e-visa, we have a dedicated channel for you to ask questions. It's a web chat. So you can seek help that way. And I understand that this channel is free of charge. So if you do have trouble, please do use that. It's there to help you. Graduate visa. So for the graduate route, as many of you know, that once you have graduated from a UK university, you'll be eligible to apply for a graduate route and an opportunity to work, to stay in the UK for 2 years or more. So if you have graduated from a bachelor or master degree, you'll be eligible to stay 2 years longer and 3 years for PhD graduates. Sponsorship is not required under this route, so that's a good thing about it. Because a lot of work route, you'll require an institution or a UK company or organization to sponsor you for that work route. So you don't need a sponsor under this route. To be eligible, the education provider has told Home Office that you have successfully completed all your courses. If you're wondering whether they have told Home Office or not, please contact your university. They should know. Graduate from an approved institution, you must apply in the UK before your student visa expire. So if you have left the UK and your student visa has already expired, you're no longer eligible under this route. Pay for the application fee and immigration health surcharge as well. So that is the application process for the graduate route. So in a year time or 2 years time, once you have graduated from the institution, you can apply online on gov.uk. By then, if you are eligible for UK Immigration ID Check app to scan your BRP, you can do so to prove your identity. If you can't scan your passport then or BRP using the app, you will need to give your biometrics at a UKVI application center, so an application center in country. Checks made by UKVI, so your digital information is sent to UKVI to make a decision on your application. If successful, you will receive a digital immigration status or BRP to prove your right to live in the UK or work in the UK. So I'm sorry, I should have crossed the BRP out because that was phased out already. These are some of the useful links for the things I've presented. And contact UKVI. So if you have any question, we do have a channel to contact UKVI. Go to the link. You can either call or email to that link. But before contacting UKVI, we do have a lot of online resources. Please go through the guidance carefully before contacting UKVI, because that would save you a lot of time and effort as well as having to go through a paid channel. You can also follow us on Twitter for the latest guidance and any changes to the immigration rules that may affect a lot of you. And thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Kun Pat, for the very useful information. Some of the slides that we have will be shared with you within today too. For the next sessions, we would like to invite the VFS team to give us the updates. And may I invite Kun Laila Ibines, the General Managers, Kun Pagamat Muangsunthorn, Operations Managers, and the last person, Kun Thanapon Prongjit, Deputy Managers, Sales and Marketing, is up on the stage. Please give them the round of applause.
Good morning, Sawadika. Okay, so we are from VFS. Again, I am Lyra, or some of you may call me Kalai, or I'm more commonly called Kalai. So I have with me Kun Pakamas and Kun Tanapon, who are the managers also of VFS. So it was a very good presentation given by Kun Pat. It was very detailed, even with the new process and everything. Also, thank you so much, Kun Pat, for a very well-presented process. So just a brief introduction of what VFS is all about. So we are a partner of most of the embassies, or what we call it missions. So in the worldwide, we are present we've been operating for 23 years, and we are handling 70 client missions or embassies, and we are present in 152 countries. In Thailand, we are managing 29 client governments, one of which is, of course, UK, Australia, Canada, Schengen and EU missions. And recently we have added Hungary, Lithuania, Latvia. Even Saudi Arabia has recently joined in Q4 of 2024. We also manage the greeter services for US government. So this is our website. Most of you have visited our website because of information. 2, it could be your booking the appointment. It could be also, third is buying our services, our premium services. We have recently moved. This is just a very brief reminder that we used to operate in the trendy along the Sukhumvit line, but we are now moved to the MRT Rama 9, which is in Bell Grand Rama 9. So this is how you come to the visa center. So either you can go by car, or you could come via MRT as well, via Rama 9 MRT station. Behind G Tower, you can take the shuttle directly from G Tower coming to the Bell Grand Rama 9. So some of you, sometimes I see you walking around Central, so might as well take the shuttle. Right now, the weather is good, so it's good to walk as well, but come summertime, please use our shuttle service as well. Okay, so we have expanded some locations across Bangkok and also across Thailand. So while we have moved to the shops Bell Grand Rama 9, we also have an operation in Hyatt Regency Hotel, which is in Sukhumvit 13. And we also have an operation center in Chiang Mai. We also have a small van which operates in different malls across Bangkok. One is in Crystal Design Center. We also have in Icon Siam, and we operate on Tuesdays and Fridays. In Tanya Park on Wednesdays, Siam Paragon on Thursdays. We have started operating in Phuket as well in 2024, and we are operating from Mondays to Fridays. And the cutoff time is at 1 o'clock because of the courier service as well. So it's an early cutoff. So how do we reach, or how is the application flow? As what Kunpat had mentioned earlier, so once you are done with the online application, so then you have to book an appointment through the VFS website. After that, then you will have to attend the biometric appointment at the Visa Application Center in any of the locations that we have mentioned earlier. So when you're at the VAC, you will have to do your biometric, or B also, you will have to scan documents if you haven't scanned documents. But I would sincerely ask that you would upload all the documents beforehand so that your student will only stay at the VAC for about 10 to 15 minutes for the registration and biometric enrollment. So after the biometric session, so you will have to wait for the decision to arrive. Again, the normal processing time is 15 days. However, if you want to shorten the process, maybe it's an urgent application or the student has to join the school early, then you can make use of the priority service and the super priority service. So after which you can come and collect the passport on behalf of the student, or the student can come and pick up the passport by themselves. So if you are coming and representing your students, then you can ask them to sign an authorization letter along with the receipt and the copy of the passport. Just in case, if you face any issues when you're booking an appointment or when you're scanning document or uploading your document in the VFS website, please provide all this information to either customercare@vfsglobal.com or feedback.ukth@vfshelpline.com. So customer care is operated centrally while feedback is operated locally. So I would suggest that you send us the email on this address, just because we have a team who looks after this email address and they respond very quickly. But I'm hoping that there will be no any issues. I've been talking to some of you a while back, and you've been giving very good feedback wherein the VFS system has improved a lot as compared to back in 2021 or 2022, where you had a lot of issues in uploading document. But luckily in 2024, we have upgraded our system and things move faster. So I hope there will be no issues. However, if you still encounter anything, then please contact us. Okay, so you can check decision as what you've been talking a while back. Then you can check the decision or the process in this website. It will tell you, this gets updated every now and then. Currently, it is published as 15 working days, but it could change through the course of time. So how to apply for refund of the application fee and immigration fee or the IHS fee? You can also get into this website and process your refund through it. Again, for visa fee and IHS, all those fees go directly to the government website. So if you are asking for a refund for those fees, please contact the government directly. However, if it's regarding premium services or any booking fee, please contact VFS. Okay, so there are a few services that we are offering in VFS. One of it is the Mobile Visa Application Center, which I earlier mentioned that we are operating in Icon Siam, Paragon, Tanya Park, and Crystal Design Center. So this comes with a fee, of course. The current fee is 3,800, and it comes with a free scanning service, courier, and SMS. In Hyatt Regency Hotel in Sukhumvit 13, you can also book an appointment through this location, and we are offering a free buffet and or a standard tea set for booking this appointment. We also have a premium lounge and a primetime service. So premium lounge is just a normal, just like in an airport lounge. So it's a separate from the normal or standard waiting area. However, for prime time, this is, we are open on Saturdays for prime time service. So if your students are not available during weekdays, then you can also opt for a prime time service on a Saturday or even towards the evening on some seasons. We also have a Keep My Passport service wherein the student will put in the application today. She can take the passport today and apply for another visa. It could be a Schengen visa, it could be Australian visa, or any other visa. So you can, okay, so prime time collection, again, it's similar to a prime time application service. Prime time collection is if you want to collect the passport on a Saturday, then you can also make use of this. This is pretty much a standard offering from VFS. We offer SMS and courier service just in case your applicants are living outside of Bangkok and you're not able to pick up their passport as well, then you can make use of courier service. Okay, so maybe some of you are familiar. We have been offering a visa at your doorstep service wherein your students will not need to come to the visa application center, but instead we come to your location, to any of your preferred location. You can just contact us and then we will discuss which area you would like to get the biometric enrollment take. So some of you have been availing this service for quite some time, and I've been hearing feedback that it's been very helpful, especially for group appointments or group applicants. When you have 30 applicants or 50 applicants, we can enroll them all together in one day. We can also sort documents beforehand. so that your student will only spend some time with us when enrolling biometric. So as what we were talking a while back, there is a priority service and super priority service. So for super priority service, the cost is 1,000 pounds. For priority service, it is at 500 pounds.
I would like to thank you, the VFS team, very much for come up with the very good presentations. Please give them a round of applause.
Thank you.
So thank you for both of the very good sessions with UKVI and VFS team. And it is now the lunchtime, and lunch will serve at the foyer in front of the seminar room. And our next sessions is going to be in 1 hour. So I would like to meet you guys back at 1:20. And we will have the interesting sessions, including the alumni talk on the skills of employability, marketing and communications trend, and the sessions by UCAS to update of any new development on the UK undergraduate application system. And at the end of the conference today, we will celebrate the success of the agents and counselors who have completed the British Council training program and has become the certified agents and counselors. So now I would like you guys to enjoy the lunch and meet back in an hour. Thank you. Right, welcome back to the Agent and Counselor Conference Thailand 2025. I hope you enjoyed the lunch and had an opportunity to network with your peers. And in the morning, we have already heard from the experts and the professionals in UK education. In this session this afternoon, we will hear the perspective from the UK alumni. And I am pleased to introduce you now to the 3 UK alumni who are the panelists for this session. New marketing and communication trends and skills for the futures for 2025. May I invite the first panelist from the sessions, Associate Professor Sivarit Pongsakorn Rangsin, UK Alumni, University of Exeter, up on the stage. The second panelist is Kun Thamrucha Thammasarot, UK Alumni, University of Arts, London and Bournemouth University. And last but not least, may I invite Kun Orakan Lau Harutanan, UK Alumni, University of Exeter, up on the stage too. So let me ask all of you, like maybe starting from Ajahn Jay first, can you please introducing yourself and why you choose to study in the UK and what experience did you gain from becoming the UK alumni?
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sivalit Pongsakorn Rangsin. You can call me Jay. At the moment, I'm Vice President in Vilalak University, Nakhon Si Thammarat. I'm studying UK. It's maybe you will feel like funny because I choose because Liverpool. Okay, I'm Liverpool fans. Okay, and
That's it.
Yeah, it's a big problem because my wife, she work in tourism, and she need to study in US.
Okay.
We have fight in our family. I say that okay, we have to go for Liverpool. Then I'm go for UK. No, this one is one reason, but another reason is about because during my career at Vilalak University, I have the colleague from UK. After we have the discuss and we share the experience. After that, I found that okay, in my career, I think I matched with the PhD education in UK more than in US. That's why I go for study in UK. What the experience that I get from the UK education, I think is the way that we didn't learn for packaged knowledge. They frame our thought and idea that I can apply to solve any problem in the world. This one is not like the overclaim, but for example, they give me for the idea that the plan that if I have the problem with some management problem, I can define the problem, find a way, and how to solve that problem. This one is what I can learn from UK education.
And which program that you are studying?
Okay,
You were studying.
I study in PhD in management study and focus on marketing, and my research focus on branding football club. I study
Okay.
about Liverpool fans. This one is the tip that if you want to study PhD, please study what you love. Many people study PhD and feel sick every day, but I wake up with happiness,
With joy.
with joy. I work with study hard. I have
6
to-
years,
yes,
like very few years.
yes, I have to go Liverpool every year to study.
Okay. Right. You can tell your students about that. Choose what they loved. Okay. And what about Kun Nat?
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Nat, and you can just, most people call me Ajahn Nat when I teach. Full name Thamrucha Thamsaro. So I'm currently an artist, a writer, and an interpreter. So I went to the UK for altogether 6 years. My first degree, diploma in Arts, Foundation of Arts at Central St. Martin's. Second degree, bachelor degree in product design, luxury branding, and eco design. And the third degree is postgrad in production management, and that is from MA Bournemouth University. And if you ask me what I get a lot of friends. I earn new knowledge. And what I earn is that it's pretty much experience that you can't have anywhere else. Everyone come to London. It's very diverse. I have best friends from all around the world. And we meet up. All my friends come to Bangkok every year to visit me. So it's never been a lonely journey. And I think the skill similar to Ajahn Jay is that I learned that problem-solving skills, and it's beyond anything because in the UK, they don't have many resources. You think the UK is rich with everything, but actually not. Sometimes I have to solve my own problem with limited resources, and how do I come up with that? So that's one thing. But what I feel that I learned most, apart from connections, friends, experiences that the UK would offer, really inside knowledge. Like, I went to the UK because of like Alexander McQueen. He's a famous designer worldwide. Alexander McQueen, raised in London. He's a Londoner. He's pretty much coming from a humble background. And then I get to learn from the school, from the teachers that taught him. So this is something that I think very significant for my career, and I can brag about it all my life. I learned from a guy who teach Alexander McQueen how to sketch, things like that. It may sound like unreal, but it's real, and I'm glad to share it today. Yeah.
Right. And what about Kun Orakan?
Hi, I'm Oregon Lauharatanan. Right now I'm an independent director at Pet Pal Company. It's the company that developing the innovative pet products like pet food, pet care. We're planning to go IPO in the Thai stock market this Q4. Hopefully, finger crossed, if all the process is done. I graduated from University of Exeter, MBA. At that time, the MBA at University of Exeter is quite unique because they focusing on sustainability. So that's the area that I want to explore more, as I think the UK is the leading in ESG subject. They have so many policies that helps the entrepreneurs to produce more food with the ESG at that time. Yes.
Right. Okay, so we'll have more of the discussions onto
Yes.
each of the alumni experience, but we would like to start with Ajahn Jay first, because you say that you are doing with the marketing branding. So I think we would like to know more about the new marketing trends and communications in 2025. Will you be able to actually share this with us?
Yes, thank you. And I prepared a slide, but don't think that we are in the classroom. Just share the idea, and because the main target for study overseas at the moment, I think our target group is Gen Z. This one is like different from all of us. For me, I think I am Gen X. Okay, some of you may be Gen Y. Okay, but don't relate to about our age. But for this group, I think it's that dream. If you have discussed with the group of students, they have the dream to study abroad. And why they want to do that? Because they grow up with technology, they grow up with the knowledge, they know everything better than us. I think I can't imagine when we are the same age. I think I know less than the kid in this generation. And they know everything and they want to seek for the new experience. They want adventure. They want to see the new thing. This one is why they want to go abroad for study. Some of them expect to have a job in abroad, in UK or in Australia or in many countries because they have that dream. Especially when they watch the movie, some film they took from European country, and they want to like have the adventure like that. This one is we have to know about their behavior. This one can be like the thing that we can talk when they want to plan. Someone want to go for football like me, yes, and if I have about 7 things for marketing trend at the moment. The first thing that is about branding. At the moment, I think the Gen Z student they didn't see from the traditional reputation or the ranking like on my age. When I want to study, I concern about the ranking, but it's lucky because before I joined Exeter, they about 27 of UK. But when I joined them the first year, they go top 3. Okay, maybe because of me join the university, and they didn't expect for ranking, but they want something different. They can see, for example, I have my staff at the moment. She is applying for study master in marketing in UK because I give her scholarship. She didn't look for ranking, but as a boss, I looking for ranking. But she concerned that beautiful, the nice destination. This one is what they see from when they want to study abroad. Okay, we have to find what they want. The second thing is about personalization. We cannot use the same message, one size fit all to all students. But maybe you will have some question. What should I do if I cannot send the pattern message to student? You have to do like the persona. You have to analyze your student persona and try to deliver the message, and also use the social listening to, for example, social eye, something like that. This program can help you to find the solution and message to your target group. This one, okay? The third is about social media engagement. At the moment, I would like to say that it's about the value co-creation. It means that sometimes we need to have interaction with your target by using the social network, and you have to know that this difference. This Gen Z normally they stay in TikTok, Instagram, and X, but for us we stay in Facebook. Okay, this one we have to use that social media to make the contact with your student. Sometimes we didn't talk to them directly, but we can later see what they do, try to understand from their post. You will see the pattern of behavior, and we need them to say something out for us. But sometimes we cannot get the information by word. We have to interpret their behavior. Okay, the fourth is about micro influencer. I want to say that we are living in the world of the influencer. We spend a lot of money to the influencer, and we believe that influencer will help us. But now at the moment, I think our customer is more clever, more intelligent. They know that which one you spend money for endorse your brand. you need to use like the real person to communicate. And sometimes like that don't need to do like that in the professional way. I don't know. You can help me to say didn't sometimes it's a you use the unprofessional media make your customer trust your brand better than you use the professional media. This one is the new trend. And another one is about authentic communication. It means that you use the real student to endorse. They want to see from their fellow. They want to see from their friend. They don't want to hear from marketing people because they believe that we are marketing, we want to sell something. But normally for ourselves as well, when we want to buy a car, a house, we don't trust the marketing people. I'm teach marketing and I also tell my student, the customer don't trust you. You have to find a way to make your customer trust you. This one the same. We need authentic communication from other students or the student who study in that university come to talk. This one will be more strong and powerful communication. The sixth one is about real success story. For example, Esther, you can use the case study from her, yes, because she is a success person. This one, she get the knowledge, experience from Exeter University. You can use this one as the real success story. This one will make more credibility of your message. And the seventh is about short video. Normally, I also work as a vice president in research and also do like the head of department marketing, digital marketing. You know, we have the student in marketing about 120 every year. You hear that the trend of student in Thai university will go down, but for me it's go up every year. And now it's like that I can put more high grade. For example, now the average GPA score for my marketing class in Nakhon Sathamarat University about 3.3 is the average. I use short video. Short video is mean that use the mobile phone to do. Don't need to go for studio. Just don't plan like that. You don't need to plan like that. You learn from the studio, but you use the main message and deliver because they have less patterns to everything. For our generation, maybe when we watch the YouTube, we can wait for the ad for maybe 10 seconds. But now I think for just only 1 second, they move. This one is what their behavior. We need short video and very easy to understand. This one is we can use. I recommend that you can use social network, many media that you can use. For example, TikTok, Instagram, and X. But X is the place that your target will use for talking something and don't want people to know. Okay, this one they sometimes they want to gossip their teacher, their friend, their parents. They will use X. But TikTok is the place that they express their behavior. Okay, and another thing that is about value co-creation is mean that we need to find a way to make interact or let them come to show or do something with you. Because of value co-creation is mean the way that we cannot like the joy like the you sell something to your customer, but you need to co-create together. Okay, maybe you can plan sometime like the we don't need to like that always do the salesperson. We need to be like the advisor or consult for the future, something like that. And another one is about the influencer. Try to use real student to endorse brand or university or your company. And the content is mean that we need to create everything to be content, short video, many content, but focus on your brand. Every step you work on the same way, but different idea. You have to make the content marketing every day. But on one day we need about 3 posts per day. Don't need to post more often. Just only 3 enough. Maybe the first thing is about the sea, sun, sand, everything like that you see from outside. It like the no academic. The second is about the knowledge or the secret, how to, if you want to study abroad, what you have to do that. The third is about your brand. This one just 3 message per day, I think is enough. Okay, and another one is about build a community. Find a way to build a community, let them come to join, talk, discuss, and we will learn. Because when they stay at community, they will talk with their friend. They open mind and they say everything. We cannot ask them directly what they want, but we can learn from their behavior, from their conversation. Okay. The next one is about what we, okay, from everything that I tell you that we need to do that, but for what we don't do is about like don't providing generic message. It mean what I say is about generic message. It mean sometimes it's long message, sometimes it's about the same pattern or professional message. They will not interest in your message. Okay. The second, don't like put everything on influencer. Try to use micro influencer, friend, family, or people who are real success story. Deliver complex. Don't deliver complex and complicated message. Just make it clearly, just short and clearly understanding. And don't focus on sale. When students come to see you, don't try to push them apply. Try to talk to them like a friend. Let them open mind and talk. They can share your information. And the last thing is about don't hiding the truth. Just tell them the truth. And I can say that your target now is they are more intelligent. They really clever. They know everything. We cannot hide them from the truth. Just tell them directly. This one is what I recommend from Market Trend for 2025. Thank you.
Okay, so the short video, what kind of, like, how many seconds, or is there any protocol that we're supposed to do this video, short
Okay.
video?
I think I am the communication people, the hybrid one. I'm not the direct study from the communication or design, but for branding, because after we study about consumer behavior, we know that the short video is sometimes about maybe 1 minute, 2 minutes, not too long. But if we want to give information, we can do like maybe 5 minutes. But trust me, no one watch all the video clip.
Yeah, I think 5 minutes is too long
Yes.
for the kids nowadays. So I think like 1:30.
Yes.
Yeah, 1 minute, 30 seconds
Yes.
is pretty much of. And which you say that we're supposed to use social media, which is we all use social media at the moment. But which platform is going to work well with the Gen Z?
From the expert and also from the data, they said about Instagram. We should try to engage with Instagram media and try to understand. But another one is about TikTok. TikTok, you can see, because you can see your student behavior. You can see that what they post, what they share themselves from the video that they do. I think you can see and understand what they want. Sometimes you can offer something that relate to their behavior.
Okay. And for the KOL, we see like it's supposed to be key opinion leader.
Yes.
And then key opinion leader is supposed to be perhaps like celebrities level, mega or micro. And now you're just talking about like maybe we're not using them as much because we know already that we marketer We know that that's sponsors
Yes.
or they've been endorsed
Yes.
because of this. So if in this case, how are you going to suggest onto like what kind of influencers that we can actually using them?
You mean the which one we can use? Yes.
Yeah.
But I normally, and if you can use the celebrity to be your influencer, it's good for like the create awareness. But if you want to persuade them, or you want to make them like the trust or have the confidence with the university, you need something that like the match with their behavior or their intention. That's why I recommend to use the like the real person. But the problem is how you can find the real person. We can have the technique. For example, you can, if you are the school or the agent that you want to find a student, you can invite and use some reward to call the interaction. And you know, trust me, if you use the reward and call for interaction, everyone will say in positive way because they want the reward. No one come, I want the reward, but I will complain you. This one will be the brand. For the branding, you must think about the way that we not talk by ourselves. Let other people talk for you. This one is about branding. And when you talk, just talk about the strongest point with strongest message, just only one. Sometimes people say, okay, I'm the good guy, I have the many good thing in myself. I want to sell everything, but your customer will not trust you. Just only one message, the main message that you want to deliver, and repeat it. Repeat every day, and then until when your student come to talk to you, okay, I want to apply to UK because blah 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 blah. This one, if you can push them to talk, what is your brand message? It means that you success in branding.
Thank you very much, Ajahn Jay, for your recommendations and talking about the trends. So I would like to move to Kun Nat for your creative ideas and all of that thing. So let me ask you first question. In the creative arts industry, can you please tell us about your career opportunities after you graduated?
Well, after graduation, I changed my mind about creation. First of all, I went to the UK to be a fashion designer, and I try to really go to Milan fashion show a lot. The reason I went to the UK, part of it is that it's so close to Europe. I can spend just 1 hour, like Eurostar, and arrive in Paris. 5 hours from my door to Milan. And what happened is I get sick of fashion show after a while. And at that time, fashion show was really open to Asian people like us. They're really open to Japanese, to Korean, and also Thai is something they're really new as well. We had a famous designer, Mr. Thakoon in New York, and he was in cover of Vogue magazine. However, I changed my mind. On the last year that I did my study in the UK, in my bachelor degree, I was a volunteer for the Thai embassy in London. So I volunteer as a book editor, I volunteer as an interpreter. So at that point onward, I changed my mind, I want to be a writer. And I came back home to Thailand instead of staying in the UK. Many doors open. I applied for a job. I got part-time translation at the BBC. I worked for the Irrawaddy Media, which is under, that time I got funded by Denmark Embassy. So I got my first salary all the way through from my first year until now. I earn my main income from the embassies. So what I mean is that you don't have to be what you aim for from the beginning. Being exposed to opportunities make your eyes become more open. And of course, I never regret my path, even though I changed my path many times. But however, what I learned from changing the idea to become a writer and also a painter and artist is that I have many friends who back me up whenever I need. I'm a writer, but I need a book cover. I call my friend who would you recommend? They would immediately ask me to do whatever I want. And yeah, if you talk about career opportunities, another thing is that having so many chances to work with great embassies around the world, it opened doors. I work for Hollywood in many films as well as an assistant to executive producers and producers because they trust my credibility. Trust is very important. Many people in Thailand can translate, would know English and would know a lot of things, but I got the opportunities because I think they refer to a lot of, maybe it would call it a logo in the CV. I still believe in the logos, but I don't believe that is my core. You have to know the outside value so that people respect you, but inside you have to be more than 100% certain of yourself. And being exposed to many things, very diverse, very intense experiences like that make me very confident in myself, but not like confident and secure and overselling is different thing. And I always tell my student that don't oversell, but be confident always. Do I answer your question?
You did. You did.
Okay.
So, in additional to your subject knowledge, what kind of skills are highly required for the industry that you are working?
Flexibility. Top priority in creative industry is flexibility with certain degree of rigid concept. My second degree in the UK was producing film and television, and major was in production management. Basically, how to run a really, really busy schedule of film production that involved camera, sound design, golfer, everyone included. Let's say, if I'm not flexible, I would die on set. Because at one point, I remember that film was, I would mention, it's the series from Marvel Studios that shoot in Thailand, and I was a assistant to the producer. The producer, they didn't get what they want on spot because it's not the same as in the US when they come to Thailand. Many equipment are changed, the light and sound, the weather is different. If I'm not flexible, I would be really angry at myself and anyone else. So being flexible is the key thing with creative because everything goes wrong all the time. And if you expect everything to be perfectly right at what you want at what certain time with certain budget, it's impossible. So always have backup plan. If you have one plan A, you gotta have plan B, C, D, E, even E. And not just for you, you have to tell all your plan to everyone else too in the team. Communicate really well. Be flexible and always communicate directly. And I always tell people this, when you talk directly to people, you don't have to be rude. And people get the wrong idea that if you honest, you have to be rude and like talk really like not nice words. You can be kind and you can be honest. And it will make you genuine. You become a genuine person. Yeah.
But flexible is also applied to a lot of industry as well.
Exactly.
And also having the plans, like backup plans.
Yeah.
Right. So in 2025, in your opinion, what is the new trends for creative and arts industry that you would like to see or expecting to see?
Well, I would think not just me, same as Ajahn. He mentioned AI and a lot of AI is gonna be playing a big role. My students use ChatGPT to answer my question, and I just point out, I know you copy from ChatGPT and it's all wrong. And you copy from Wikipedia, so that's two sides of it. That's definitely more AI, more generated images. We have to look into two ways. One is that it was really good because it also opened doors, what you can do. Creativity is about pushing boundaries and pushing your own limit all the time. You challenge a norm all the time. When you challenge a norm, though, there are some certain limits that you might use other people's copyright, and that's another side of the story. So be really mindful of that. We're gonna see a lot more of people invading or abuse other people's copyrights, abuse other people's rights. So in my mind, don't be discouraged by that when you see any negative things, because even though you see negative things coming from AI, there's always the bright side of it. Make sure you stay on the bright side, because even though it looks as though the police is not helping enough, they are doing behind the scene and they're not telling you, we don't know it. But once the police or any enforcement get their hands on, it's gonna collapse with many bad side effects. So yeah, that's on the AI.
And I think that's also including to the trends in the morning that Kun Uraiwan has been talking as well, that postgrad with the computing itself is getting higher number of the people who choose to study there. And what do you find the opportunities and challenges for studying and working in this creative arts industry?
The challenges and the opportunities are the same thing. Is that we are creating everything new. A lot of times, me and my friends, not just me, you know Perry Pie, the famous makeup artist, when she came to Thailand to work as makeup artist, people would question the value of the career. And people would often think, oh, you're just a makeup artist, we pay 500 baht per day, enough, that's for your taxi. And you get publicity or exposure. And a lot of my friends are like that, right? And we are doing something new. The challenges in that come with great opportunities. I'm speaking like Spider-Man, responsibility and whatnot. But when we see opportunities, I would always look into it like see something new that nobody else see. Usually something new is not new, it's already there, but nobody see it. You have to be able to discover that opportunity and tackle that. Then after that, even though you see any challenges and you see that it's new, try to be honest, genuine, and communicate correctly. Like me, my friends from the UK, we face challenges in communication with Thai people. And it might sound odd because it's not anything wrong with anyone, it's just that we communicate differently. Sometimes we expect everything to go as paper, like in the email we send. Let's say we organize an art gallery or production film studio. We send the schedule on Monday and we expect that you're gonna be reading it by lunch. That's pretty much the UK rules. But Thai people, they're on set. People who are like actively checking email are not in the office all the time. So we have to understand that Thai people, if we email, we have to call and line. Many channels. So more likely the industry challenges would be don't assume anything. Always double check. Opportunities always there. You just have to be open enough to see it. I rather say like, do not overrate anything or underrate anything, because even though something super small, it can become a great art. I went to see an art show by a Thai artist years and years ago. He didn't have enough money to buy like color paper, and he's an origami artist, and he used cutting knife to cut like small details. He used lotteries. The lottery that he didn't win, tons of it, and he like sketch, like he really used detail to spend hours. And one lottery he sold it for 10,000 Thai baht, and he made money out of that. I wouldn't see value in a lottery, and nobody in this room would. You would throw it away to the trash can, but people see that. Many artists create life from just a speck of dust or even sand. That can happen with anyone too. I work with Thai Ban Studio as well, the Thai film that won earned most money like last year. Thai Ban Studio see value in speaking Isan language in the Thai film. And that won hearts all over the country, even outside Thailand. So see something that nobody see. Yeah.
Right, and that could be opportunities plus challenges,
ใช่
as you said. Okay, and the skills that you actually acquire or gain from the UK, what is really useful in your professional life?
Flexibility again. I think I was too rigid when I went to the UK first time. I was 19 years old. I went straight almost from Trem Udom, quite conservative, a really good but conservative school, not much diversity. And I went with my mind thinking that, wow, in the UK people must stand really straight and nobody smoke. And maybe really perfect, good-looking kids. No, my friends wear trainers, Converse, ripped jeans. They smoke all the time. They drink all the time. I learned to accept people from all races, all genders. With that mind, in my mind, that I accept everyone equally, I can talk to anyone. You can send me a robot, I can talk to them. You can send me Thor or any random jokers, I can communicate with them because I just come with a mind that is open and I don't judge people. So it's easy because people know that I don't lie. Like, so I'm the type of a producer where let's say if my director need to chase a screenwriting, or a script from a writer somewhere, he would send me because I can talk to anyone, communicate for him to deliver work on time. That's what I do. So that's my strength. If I didn't go to the UK, maybe I judge people all the time. I would, I'm a nice girl, I'm better than you, I wear pink clothes, I look great, I don't dye my hair, I'm perfect. I might think like that, I might become a really, really bad person. I might just become an evil queen from Snow White. Yeah, that's what I see myself.
Okay, so it's really helped with like eye-opening basically when you get to another countries, etc. And the last questions for you, Kunat. What would be your advice for the students who are interested in studying in creative art industry?
In creative arts industry in general, or specifically in the UK?
In general.
In general, I think don't underrate anything. Don't look down on anything or anyone, because one thing is better for you to see everything from the fresh eye. Don't listen to your friends. Like, I'm not saying you can listen to your friend when you try to develop your work, you become open up. But when it comes to doing your work, your own specific work that is your calling, listen to your heart more than anything else. Like a guy who does lottery art, I don't think he listened to his friend who want to throw that away. Maybe the thing that your friend want to throw away it would be your gold. So I think at the end, listen to your heart. That would be my my greatest advice.
Thank you very much. And we would like to move on to Kun Orakan.
Yes.
So for your first question, so what are the skills important for the students wishing to be entrepreneurs? Because you are now a very good entrepreneur. So what is your
yes.
advice?
Well, I didn't emphasize my background enough. Well, I worked at Citibank for almost 10 years before served as an independent director here at this pet power company. I also, it has always been my strength in financial services industry. And it's always leads me to new doors and new opportunity. So the skills that I would actually recommend the students nowadays is the networking and communications skills that I actually think that nowadays people knowing who it's also important. The hard skills are easily acquired in the classroom or nowadays with the internet, but having a soft skill or knowing people like here, like you knowing if you're going to study in the UK where you should consult with. It's very important because knowing people and then being to communicate your visions. Like if you want to do something, you'll be able to tell people effectively like what is your goal, what you want to do, and then people can help support you later on. That's a very important skill.
All right. And in terms of the employer, and because of that perspective, what
Yes.
kind of skills that employer are looking for?
Well, I think these days, not only things on paper, but also with the EQ, it's very important because we be able to understand people, manage emotions, also like digital literacy. Because yes, everyone can now access to the mobile, access to the internet, but making those information useful, actually very rare skill to see these days. Yeah.
Okay. Can you specific more of the EQ when you're
Yeah.
talking about that?
Well, EQ, it's, I think these days people are overstimulated over the internet, like reading this and then judge people too quickly. Say like judge on the topic based on their background. I think people lack the empathy of seeing things differently. So like having a good IQ maybe is one thing. Having an EQ is being able to work under pressure, being able to work with anyone is also like important skills. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I have the same question that we already asked Kun Nat.
Yes.
So, which kind of skills that you actually acquire when you're studying
In
from
the
the
UK?
UK,
Okay.
and it's helping with your professional?
Okay. I think the time management and self-discipline is what I acquired from the UK. Well, being far away from home and the UK academy, I think they're not. It's not like here in Thailand where like there are classroom provided and then you need to follow instruction. People, the school in the UK tend to, here's the job subject, here's your workshop, here's the homework. You just need to. It depends wholly on you whether you want to attend the class. There's no like checklist, like absent checklist. Oh, you're not here. Calling your parents, and also because you're far away from home, you want to do as many as activities as you possible can do, like extra curriculum at school. And when you're Thai, there's a Thai samaki, there's a Thai group of people in your school, and there is a Thai group of people who are other schools, and you want to connect with them. You want maybe it's a friends of friends, maybe you know them before in bachelor degrees, and you want to join the activity with them who lives in other cities, not like Exeter alone. So the time is very limited, but how do you manage to see, to study and then to play and then to hang out and then to talk to the professor, like maybe if you want to do the PhD later on, that's like everything all at once. So I think time management is really helps me during that time to survive and also like doing so many things. Yeah.
And it's also related to the things that you are doing at the moment too,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Okay. And what skills do you think that is going to be important in the next few years?
In the next few years, I think AI has already mentioned, but I think the sustainability awareness is also something that important. Like this day, you can see like global climate change and the impact of all the dust and PM 2.5 here in Thailand. I think knowing that you're living in this world, you have a responsibility to make it better for maybe a next generations. Is also the skill that you maybe aware that you have that responsible too. I think other than that, it's something that you can like easily obtain, like when you watch the media. And yes.
Okay. And we already asked like others, Ajahn Jay and then Kun Nat, but what kind of challenges and opportunities that you find from you gaining from the UK and as working as the entrepreneurs or business related subject?
Opportunity and challenges. Challenges occurs every day is something that you have to face. I think the challenge is that, like to me, economics challenge is something that very general. You like people, we see it every day. It's not only you here in Thailand. It's ASEAN country as well. It's people in different country as well. So I think like economics uncertain is not really very hardship in order to cope with, because everyone is gonna face the same. But I think the natural competitive, the nature of like competitive nature of the business, I think nowadays, because people easily set up business at the fingertips nowadays. You can have your own shop online, creating Facebook page. So that makes the competition like even more like red ocean than ever. Now anyone can be entrepreneur, anyone can start up their own business. But in order to survive for the long term, is another different thing. So that's the nature of the higher competitiveness in like business. I think in the business sense, business world. But opportunity is also because of the digital platform that we have nowadays. It's also making people who wants to be a business owner or entrepreneur easier than ever. Like you don't really need like capital that much. Like you don't need to go to the bank and then getting a loan, a huge loan. You can actually self-funded by the Facebook page or TikTok, or you make a clip. Then you can easily be able to buy or sell on the internet. Is something very like opportunities these days. So the rise of digital platform has actually making I think people these days set up business easier than ever.
Right. And what would be your advice for students who are interested in studied in entrepreneurs or
Yes.
become the business related?
Well, my advice is that, as I mentioned earlier, that having a networking and communication is important. Like studying here in the UK also allows you to have a different kind of network. Which is really important later on in life. Like I also committee at the All English Student Association. It's where people who leave or graduate from the UK for more than a year can apply as a membership. It's a non-profit organization, and it helps gather people who UK graduated here in Thailand. I think there are more than 2,000, of course, 2,000 people who graduate from the UK. But now people who apply and register and having names in our system in OESA is still limited. So after you graduate from the UK, apply to the organization and then gather with people who have like-minded or be able to help you achieve your goal later on is also like important. So that's also the reason why I often get asked by people, my friends who graduate from the US, that like they wish to have this kind of networking, but because they think USA, the country is like the continent is like huge. It's not closely connected. It's not like people in London flew to Paris. That makes people here in the UK alumni so close together. So I think this is the plus of studying in the UK, and also an important skill that if you want to start your own business, you probably want to listen to the advice from anyone or asking for scholarship or the capital from someone who are maybe having a similar background with you.
All right, so we're come to an end of this sessions of the panelists. So thank you very much for the three speakers, which is one has already down because she has to go somewhere else. So please give a big round of applause to Ajahn Jay, Kun Nat, and Kun Orakan. Yeah, thank you very much. All right, so it's very interesting and it's insightful onto this information. And it is now the time for our last seminar sessions for today, but it is very important one as well because we are going to have the update on the undergrad program application systems from UCAS and introduce you the speaker who will join us live from the UK, Becca Horsley, the Customer Success Partners International Advisors from UCAS. Becca Horsley, Customer Success Partners International Advisors, joined UCAS to support the delivering target training to the growing community of schools and agents who support the 1 in 5 UCAS applicants who is an international applicant. This involves delivering training sessions as well as developing and enhancing the resources availability on the UCAS.com website. Prior to joining UCAS, Becca has worked for many years in a variety of higher education institutes in the UK, in the international recruitment and admissions teams, and spent time studying abroad as an international student herself. So, if you are ready, Becca, the floor is yours.
Hi, everybody, and thank you very much for inviting us to speak here today. So I'm just going to give you a quick overview of some data about what's been going on in Thailand, talk you changes for the upcoming application cycles as well. Thank you all very much for coming to this session, and hopefully you'll find it really informative. So as introduced, I'm Becca, and what I would like to share to you on this slide is something really important that we have upcoming. My colleague Courtney, who's actually watching online this session, is in this photo on screen. And this is a photograph from our international conference. That's going to be happening again in the summer for anyone. I know that British Council are coming along to that in some of their staff. So if anyone is interested in finding out more about this conference, please let me know and I'll give you all the information about that. That will be happening for the first time in Edinburgh, so outside of London, so just to make people aware about this. But let's move on to some data specifically about. So we've got some data from the end of cycle. We normally use 2019 as a benchmark because that was the last kind of normal year pre-pandemic. And then these are the rest of the figures that we use. We've got the 22 and 23 data there. So as you can see, from before the pandemic and afterwards, the numbers for Thai students have been quite stable, which is good. There's still that desire to come and study in the UK. It's growing slightly. As well as the acceptance rate, that's been pretty much stable around that high 50s, low 60s rate. And that's actually a very, very good acceptance rate. So some countries, the acceptance rate is as low as around 30%. So what that means is that people are being well advised, they're getting those offers, and people are committing to the offers that they've received, and they really want to take up that opportunity to come study in the UK, which is great to see. And as I said, it's great to see that sustained demand for study, and it's great to see that that accept number is pretty stable as well. There's not any big up or down. Students are deciding they don't want to study here anymore. So it's lovely to see those kind of numbers. And we'll have a quick look at some other things that are going on. So how the numbers are split across the 4 nations of the UK. So we do have amazing education institutions across all 4 nations. So England, Wales, Northern Ireland and Scotland. And this information that we can see here about the split of Thai students is quite typical of what we see for international students. There's a little bit less on the Scotland than normally for other international, and a little bit more on Wales. Nothing wrong with that, it's just something to point out. Perhaps there was a recent study in Wales campaign, so that might have gone down really well in Thailand, but there's nothing really surprising there in that split. Obviously there are more institutions in England, so we would expect a really high percentage there compared to the other nations. We've also got the courses which are the most commonly applied to by students from Thailand, and something that's really interesting to draw out there, which we don't see that commonly for international applicants, is that design, creative and performing arts being so high. And so that's really, really good to see that people are looking at those more diverse courses. They're moving away from that traditional business management, engineering, computing, and looking at those amazing creative programs that we have here in the UK as well. I'm going to give you a quick overlook at the dates. Obviously, we are partway through the 2025 cycle at the moment, but just to keep you up to date with what's coming up. And these dates do remain roughly the same each year. There's one which is going to be changing quite a lot. And when we get to that in the cycle, I will talk you through that. But looking at this, so from around the 30th of April each year, UCAS Search will start display courses, so you and your students can start looking through what's available. Then the advisor portal for anyone who is a UCAS registered centre, that will open in early May. And that's for you to set up your centre, add in all of your qualification shortlist and get ready for those new applicants. On the 14th of May, the application will open, but students can't submit their application until very early September. So that's the time for them to be working through. And you as the people advising them to be checking, making sure that everything's as good as it can be in that application, everything's accurate. They do not need to submit on that 3rd of September. That's just the earliest that they can. We then have our 15th of October deadline, and that does pretty much remain that date, unless that date falls maybe on a weekend. We might move it just to make that fit a little better with your schedules as advisors. And that's the deadline for courses in medicine, veterinary medicine or veterinary science, dentistry, and any course at Oxford and Cambridge. And there are a few things to remember if your students are looking to apply to these programs. So normally on UCAS, people can apply to 5 courses. For these programs, if they're applying to medicine, for example, they can apply to 4 medicine programs, and then their 5th program would be something different that's kind of in a similar area normally, so something like biomedical sciences. So they can't apply to 5 different medical programs. And then for Oxford and Cambridge, they have to pick between the 2 institutions. They cannot apply to both of those. So that's just something to remember if you're working with students that are looking at that 15th of October deadline. They can also submit their application for the course that meets that October deadline and then submit the rest of their applications at a later date. So if they're applying to, for example, history, they want to apply to history at Oxford or Cambridge, they can put that application in and then take a bit longer to figure out where they'd like to use their other 4 choices and apply a little bit later and add those in. We have something called our equal consideration date, and as you can see, that's coming up in just under 2 weeks' time. And this is for all other courses and other institutions. And this is to ensure that students have fair opportunities. It's not who can get their application in quickest. Everyone who has applied by that date should be considered fairly and equally by the universities. A university shouldn't be closing their courses before that date. And this is the date which is going to be changing significantly. So next year, so for the 2026 application cycle, this is going to be moving forward by about 2 weeks to mid-January. And that's something that we did historically. So that's just putting things back to the way that they were before the pandemic. We polled our advisor community, and that was something there was desire for. So we've listened to what you've said and moved that date forward a couple of weeks. And both of those deadlines are at 6 p.m. UK time. That shouldn't be a huge problem for you because obviously you're quite a few hours ahead of the UK, but just to keep that in mind. We also have UCAS Extra, which students can use if they perhaps haven't received an offer in that 15th of October, 29th of January application that they've applied for. Or they can also use it if they've changed their mind. Perhaps they did receive an offer, they're not interested in taking up that offer, so they can use Extra to add 1 choice at a time until they receive an offer that they're happy with. They can keep applying in the main cycle as well up until the 30th of June if they miss that 29th of January application date. We would just point out though, for the October deadline, most of those courses will not have places available if you miss that 15th of October deadline. So that one you really do need to try and meet. The 29th of January, we'd advise you to meet, but there are still opportunities if your student isn't quite ready and needs those few extra weeks to do that. We also have our clearing process, which is open throughout the summer. That opens on the 5th of July, and that's an opportunity for students to explore their options once they know their grades. So it could be that maybe they've not achieved the grades that was in their offer they received, or they might have really done amazingly well compared to what they were expected. So they want to look around and see if they can apply to somewhere else. They also might have changed their mind about the course or location, and some students do apply directly into clearing. We just always say for international students, just be careful that you're not applying too late into the clearing process, because we know with visas and things that can take quite a lot of time. Now I'm going to talk you through best fit. So these are the things that you need to be thinking about when you're working with students, and then I'm going to share some resources that you can use to support these conversations. So we've kind of divided this into 4 different sections. So we say that the first thing students, of course, should be concentrating on are the academics. So that's both the academic requirements, are they actually going to be able to get into this course, but also the course content and learning style. As I heard your lovely ambassador speaking about in the last session, the UK style can be quite different to other global systems. So, and that can also vary between institutions in the UK. So you need to make sure that what the course content is and what the learning style at that institution they're applying to works for your student. And using myself as an example, I applied to English literature. That program will vary vastly between universities. Some you'll be doing Shakespeare. I did very much modern literature. Nothing I studied was before the 1900s. So make sure that the content of the course is something that your student is interested in studying, particularly if they're interested in, for example, a certain area of history, a certain author, and things like that. Then we say that they should be focusing on the numbers to some extent, so looking at things like rankings and career outcomes. We'd say with rankings, take those with a pinch of salt. We know that rankings pull from different areas, so make sure that you're looking at what the ranking is focusing on and look at various different rankings to build a well-rounded picture. And again, using myself as an example, sometimes the university that has the overall highest ranking is not the best place to study your course. So my university wasn't in the UK top 20 that I studied at, but for my course, it was ranked number 1 in the UK. So make sure that you're really digging into those numbers and what they mean to make that work for your student. Then, of course, location, accommodation, and those social activities. So essentially the life that your student is going to build in the UK, because while they are there to get a degree, we also want them to have an amazing experience and enjoy their time, because they're going to be living here for at least 3 years, and we want them to enjoy that experience. So in location, they should be thinking about things like the size of the city, the location in proximity, how near it is to an airport. If they're thinking they want to be flying home for the holidays, they maybe don't want to be having to get to an airport that's 5-6 hours away. And things like, do they want to be near a beach? Do they want to be in the centre of a really big city, or do they prefer to be on a campus-based university? And accommodation too. So some universities will have guaranteed accommodation, whereas others, they may not have that. Others, it will be on campus. Some it might be you need to get across the city, and that will suit different students. So make sure they're looking into that as well. And of course, the social activities, make sure that there are things like societies that they're interested to build up that friend network and have a great time studying. And then, of course, costs and funding. So international student fees can vary depending on the university. So make sure that you're checking that, and scholarships as well. So we know we don't have those amazing full scholarships the same way that the US does, but we do have quite high value scholarships at certain institutions, and they will sometimes be regionally targeted as well. So there'll be a scholarship just for students from Southeast Asia in some locations. The high value scholarships are normally more competitive. Students need to compete, write an essay, something like that for those. And some universities will have lower value scholarships, which are automatically applied if your student reaches a certain grade level when they achieve their exam results. So again, make sure that you check what's available to your students. Then the resources that are available to support you with this, we have quite a lot of these on UCAS.com. So we have city location guides. We know a lot of the students might not have had a chance to explore the UK before they come and study. So it's a really good way for them to get a visual on the cities and read a little bit about them. Subject tasters and guides, and that's where they can take a sample session of some of the courses. We've put those for free on UCAS.com, and they're delivered by actual university lecturers, so they can see if that's something they'd be interested in taking as a degree. We have virtual work experiences where students can sign up to do a program to understand about the kind of careers they might be doing after they graduate. Most of those are available internationally. There are just a few which are UK only, so just make sure you're checking that if you're advising your students. The chat to a student, I'll just talk a little bit about on the next screen. And then we also have a careers quiz, which is a really great way for students to understand what their personality traits are and what's important to them in a career. So for example, do they want to be in a job working with people? And then it will recommend courses for them based on what personality traits that test has shown. And that's a really good place for you to start with those students who perhaps don't know what it is they want to study. And then, as I mentioned, we have something where you can chat to a current student. This is called UniBuddy, and it's available both on UCAS and directly on university websites. And you can filter the student that you want to talk to based on the university they're studying at, based on the course that they're studying, and also based on nationality. And you can speak to more than one student if you'd like to. So some students, they might want to speak specifically to a Thai student about their experience of being in the UK as a Thai student, whereas some might be more concerned with understanding what it's like to be a student at a certain university, and they can really do that as much or as little as they'd like. And again, completely free to use that as a tool and a great way to really explore the experience of current students. And then to update you on some of our changes. So we've made a couple of changes for this cycle, which hopefully you've already been putting in some applications. So you will have already seen these, but just to talk you through these again. So we've added a new section, which is called Where You Live, and we're collecting the 3 years of address history. So that will be for students starting in 2025, we'll be collecting that from 2022. And the reason that we're doing this is to support universities with their fee status assessments and a quicker understanding of if a student is going to need a visa by adding a few more nationality questions as well. And just most of you, your students, this will not particularly be applicable to because they will be Thai nationals. But if any of you are working with students in international schools where perhaps they have European nationality or even UK nationality or joint nationalities, this is something to be aware of because it's important to complete this as accurately as possible to show that to the universities. They will also be able to indicate why they have been living in a location. So if they've been perhaps in Thailand just for their parents' work, they can indicate that on this. And just to emphasize here, UCAS is not making the fee status decisions. It's just to streamline that process, because what was happening before is universities were sending individual forms to the students. So they were getting the same questions to complete 5 times from their 5 different university applications. So we're just making it a bit easier for your student and also for the universities. And then we've also improved the education section. So we have firstly moved the English test into this section. So if any of you are working with students who are taking things like an IELTS, a TOEFL, you can put that report form number in this section if your student has already taken that. They don't need to have taken that in order to apply. It's just if they've got it, it's a great thing to include in their application. But we've also added an improved search feature to help you find those qualifications. And we're gathering a bit more information about the schools. So if you are a UCAS registered centre and your student links to you, it'll pull in more dynamic information to make that process easier and show the right qualifications for the country that your school is based in to your student. It's just really to help avoid those errors in that education section, because that's where we find students most commonly make mistakes. But the big change that's coming is going to be for the next application cycle. So the students that are looking to study in autumn 2026, and that will be the personal statement that's changing. And while we say it's a big change, a big thing is changing, but the fundamental reason remains the same. So the content that we would expect in the personal statement is still the same. We still want to see that passion for why they want to study a course. We still want an explanation of how they've prepared to be a strong candidate for admission. We're just changing the structure. And the reason we're doing that is to really support students, particularly international students, because the students that you're working with, because you are here today, you're an engaged advisor advisor, they are fortunate that they have that support. A lot of international students do not have that support of an advisor or a counsellor, as well as some maybe mature students who are returning to education after work, even within the UK. They may be doing that independently. So we want to make sure that everyone has a fair chance to understand what is meant to go into this personal statement and know that they're really telling the universities the information that they want to know. So the personal statement in the past has been one long piece of writing, but we're now moving it into 3 different sections, and each section is going to have a question prompt just to explain what it is that the universities are looking for from students. The characters that they can input will still be 4,000 characters, but that will be split across the 3 sections instead of that being in one long piece of writing. And each section will have a minimum 350 characters. And then once they've met that minimum, they can use the rest of the characters however they think best represents them as a student. We have already put out lots of advice and guidance for yourself as advisors, and I will be sharing a PDF of these slides after the session. And if you click through where it says personal statements at the top, there are links to all those resources available for you. And we will start putting out that student guidance soon. We just didn't want to confuse the students who are still applying for this year with the old format. Then I'm happy to share with you now what the new questions are, and we'll talk a little bit about what we'd expect to see in those questions. But looking at these as experienced counsellors, I'm sure you can see there's nothing in there that you haven't already been supporting your students to put in a strong application. So the why you want to study this course or subject, that is reflecting on perhaps what motivated them, so how they developed that interest, and also their future goals. So perhaps they say something like, I've always wanted to be a doctor because I had an experience in the hospital when I was a child and I saw the amazing work that they do. And to take a medical degree is a necessary part of becoming a doctor. It could be a bit more abstract. Perhaps they're interested in a really quite obscure subject. And the example I use is perhaps the student's really interested in fashion. They watched the Met Gala. They found a sustainable designer. And then that led them to researching environmental studies. And that's a bit more of an unusual pathway to that subject, but it's really great to include that and show how they gained that interest. The second question about your qualifications and studies helping you prepare is reflecting on what you've been studying previously. That can be in school, or it can be if you've taken online courses and things like that. You're not just listing what you've studied here because that's already in the education section, but what you can do is you can talk about perhaps a certain module that really interested you. So again, using medicine as an example, perhaps in your biology class, there was a unit all about the anatomy of the heart, and that has really sparked an interest in cardiology as a specialism. You can also talk about the transferable skills that those qualifications and studies have taught you. So for example, law. Not many people have the opportunity to study law at school before they go to take it at university, but perhaps your students studied history, and that attention to detail, those understanding and memorizing dates and applying them in a logical manner, things that could be applicable to law as transferable skills. So there's definitely something that they can reflect on their studies, even if it's not necessarily a really logical link like they've studied that subject before. And then the what else you have done outside of education and why that's useful is reflecting on how they've kind of gone beyond the classroom. And again, these can be things that are really directly relevant. So perhaps that work experience, if they've had the opportunity to do that, or it could be something like they asked their teacher for a book recommendation, which they've gone away and read independently. But again, it could also be those transferable skills. So perhaps your student is on a sports team, and through that they've learned leadership, which is really important if they're going to be applying to a business school, that they need to be able to work in a team and know how to lead that team to success. So again, reflecting and including these experiences, but always linking them back to the course. That's the really important thing with UK applications, that everything you're including links back to that course and understanding why that experience that they've had or those studies they completed have helped them to prepare for what they're going to be studying at that high level at university. And most things can be linked back in some way or another. You just have to think about the transferable skills that your students have gained. And then just some top tips for things which are where mistakes are most commonly made on the application. So personal details, so make sure that the date of birth is in the UK format, so that's date, month, year, and the same for any dates of qualifications. It should be quite hard to do this wrong on the application because we have drop-down boxes, but just in case. And then also make sure that names are represented correctly as they are on the students' documents, like their passport and their academic certificates. We know, for example, in Thailand, I know a lot of people have preferred names that they like to use, but it does need to be their legal name as on their passport. Again, use myself as an example. My name is Rebecca, but I use Becca as a shortened version. But for something like my application, I would need to use my full legal name. Paying attention to communication and deadlines. This is both the UCAS deadlines and anything that a university requests. So for example, they may ask you to send additional documents, and that's fine for them to do that, but they may apply a deadline, so just make sure that you're meeting that. Research is key. And that's what we mentioned, those resources a couple of slides back, about making sure that students understand what they're going to be studying, that location, and that's the best way to ensure that they're applying to something that's going to be a good fit and they're going to have a great experience. Reach out. So if you have any questions, please reach out, whether that's to us at UCAS. My colleague Courtney, who's on the call, used to work in our customer experience centre, dealing specifically with advisors. We have a dedicated team who are amazing to support you. You can also reach out to the universities if you need to. They'll have international teams and admission teams to support you. And we also have that uni buddy feature if they want to reach out to someone who's kind of a peer to them. And then if you are a registered centre, please make sure that you're setting up your qualification shortlist and keeping that up to date. That means that students have a lot less options presented to them at the first stage, so it helps prevent them, picking the wrong option for what they're studying. Just to point out as well that we have for free a parents guide, which is a really good way for students to introduce the UK study to their families. We know that they're key decision makers in this process, and it explains it in a bit of a different way from the resources that we have for yourselves as advisors and for the students. And we have added some specific international pages in this. So there's one page all about the finance and funding for international students and the different ways that that works. And then there's one page all about, it's called accommodation, but it's a bit about accommodation and arrivals. So things like how to make sure that you've got a data plan for your phone when you arrive in the UK, and checking that you've got the right plug adapters and all those handy little tips that you need when you're first moving to a country. We also have a lot of support directly for you here at UCAS. So we have the monthly newsletters, which you can sign up to for free. Even if you are not a UCAS registered centre, you can get those. Again, you'll have all these hyperlinks sent to you, so you can just do that after this session. We have our advisor lives, and these happen monthly. We do have an international one, which happens at about 9 in the morning UK time, so that would be in the evening for you. And then we do a UK-based one in the afternoon UK time. Those are all on our website, and we sometimes get experts on, so we get people in from the universities, we have students there, we have people from something called like UKVI, which is a charity which supports international students. So it's a great way to hear from people and watch those back and really understand. We have training and conferences, so we do training sessions like this. We also can do one-to-one training if anyone feels that that's something that would be useful to them, though there is a charge for that, unfortunately. And then, as I mentioned at the beginning, we have our conference as well, if people are interested in coming to that. And we have the advisor section on our website, which is where there are a load of amazing free resources. We have presentations you can download to talk to your students if you're doing a session for them. We also have presentations you can give to parents if that's something that you need to do as part of your role supporting people. And most importantly, we have our advisor guide, and me and my manager and pretty much everyone at UCAS will have some input into this, but it's a very, very lengthy document. You can control an F. It is a virtual document, so you can control an F to find what it is that you need within this document, but pretty much everything that you could ever need to know about the UCAS processes is in here. So make sure that you're using that. We update it every year to make sure it's really accurate, really there to support you. And if it's not in there, as I mentioned, please reach out, contact us, and then we can support you with the information that you need. So I think that's everything on my slides. I know that people might have some questions, so I'm happy to answer any of those now. I can go back to any of the slides if people have questions about any of the content that we've covered as well.
Thank you, Becca, for your presentations. Please give a round of applause to Becca for the good presentation. May I invite Mr. Garrett to give the closing remarks?
Good afternoon, everyone. And I'd just like to say a few words to close what I hope has been a really helpful and rewarding day for you all. It's great to see so many of you here. And I guess, first of all, just a big congratulations to all the agents and counsellors who've completed the British Council agent and counsellor training today and have become certified agents and counsellors. So congratulations, well done all of you. Thank you very, very much for your hard work and dedication. In addition, I'd like to thank all the agents and counsellors and Thai and UK school university representatives, as well as the delegates from the Office of Civil Service Commission and TIECA, who've participated in this British Council Agent and Counsellor Conference 2025 today. Your role is so important in giving direction and providing the professional counselling to students and the next generation to help them and shape their future. You know, part of the work we do at the British Council, in fact, all of the work we do at the British Council is about people, and it's about building trust between the UK, Britain, and Thailand. And I think one of the most rewarding experiences people can have that will help them as individuals, but also the relationship between Thailand and the UK, is that experience of learning and studying that is going to shape their lives and change their lives forever. So the work you're doing is so important, and I'm really glad that you're all doing it and you're here today. So I hope today has given you a great opportunity to get the most up-to-date and useful information and to meet each other and network with your peers. I'd like to thank the speakers from BUILA, UKVI, VFS, UCAS, and other UK alumni who've been here today and contributed their ideas and experiences to make this such a useful session. In addition, we've got colleagues from British Council here who represent our exams team and who've been able to provide you with advice and support on English assessment. So thank you to them as well. That's it. I know it's been a long day. You've completed it now. It's Friday afternoon. So I wish you a safe journey home, and thank you once again for coming today and being a part of this event.
예ฝั่งนี้ด้วย